like I said, I wasn't that impressed by his work. So.
Unbelievable.
Carl is allowed to vote.
I know.
He's allowed to cast a vote
That's
in this country. It doesn't make sense.
You know, I wish I hadn't. I've only done it once, and look what happened. I got called up for jury duty.
Hey everybody.
People do what they do anyway. I think they only let us vote, so we feel like we're having a say in what's going on. But really,
We're just tooling
carry
around
on.
listening
I
to some
haven't seen a
fun.
big change.
But that's exactly why you vote.
No, the best thing you can do is look after yourself. Get on with it.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I hope that's a quote. I hope someone out there who's, you know, maybe making a dictionary of quotes or an encyclopedia, and they've finished with Freud, they've done Pavlov, he hit a dog on the head with a stick. Next, Carl Pilkington. Carl Pilkington, what do you say about the world? Just get on with it.
Well, we're not in charge of it, is what I'm saying.
That's nearly as good as let's go to the beach. Winston Churchill.
I spoke to my dad about it, and he called up saying, "Oh, I'm sick
Oh,
of
well, we're
hearing
going to get
about this."
some quality thinking here. Go on.
Go on.
No, he was saying about global warming and that.
Yeah.
He was saying he's sick of hearing about it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's just the world, innit? We're all getting old, and the world's getting old. That's the end of it.
Brilliant. What another amazing quote.
Well, it is. What we're trying to do. This is what I'm saying about we don't like people to get old. We're always saying, oh, we can change that face, we can lift your chin up, we can put a wig on you.
Why are you so annoyed about people wanting to live a little bit longer?
Because enough's enough is what I'm saying. The world's the same. It's just getting old, and you know, it used to have more green on it, but now it's gone a bit bald. So it hasn't got as much green. It's got more soil. Treat the world like a head.
That's an amazing quote.
Treat the world like a head.
You've actually come up with one there. I thought of another phrase. You could just sitting here talking to you, flogging a dead horse.
Yeah.
What do you think that means? Flogging a dead horse.
A number of people are still amazed by your complete lack of understanding some of these famous sayings and phrases. So,
Well, that's an easy one.
Yeah, that's like you know, get a new horse or
I'm taking
No, he hasn't
internal
got it.
damage.
no one's gonna buy it
No, it doesn't mean that sort of flogging.
when you're hitting it.
Yeah.
right.
So what's the point in hitting it? So
It's dead anyway, so don't bother hitting it. It's
absolutely,
not
it's
feeling
pointless. It's a it just means it's a waste of time.
Yeah, but it depends what that horse has done to you.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does. It's that thing, innit, of like if a bear attacked you and you managed to hit it on the head and it went down, you'd go and you'd be annoyed. You'd still have built-up aggression. You'd give it an extra clout.
That's extraordinary.
I don't know who's compiling this book.
Sometimes it's worth flogging a dead horse if he did something to be annoying.
Receiving
The
you.
world's oldest tortoise, a 250-year-old tortoise, died last week.
Does it?
Yeah, in a zoo in India. 250
Here we
years
go.
old.
So would that have had that thing that they say about how you get like a flashback of your life?
You mean your life flashes before your eyes?
Yeah, they say, don't they? Just like on your last breath or whatever. You like see you coming out of the womb and everything.
Well, one, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe
Splitting
your
fire.
life flashes before you. I don't know what evidence we've got. People who die say, you never guess what's happening.
No, but there's loads of things that have happened where people go, oh, that's weird. That goes to show that we've been around before, or.
Ready
no,
for
it
orders.
doesn't. There's none. I have no evidence for that. Of
Well, I
reincarnation.
told you that time when it happened to me when I was younger.
Go on.
Your life flashed before your eyes?
Well, it wasn't like a flashback, but it was close. It's the next thing next to flashbacks. It was I was having a bath, right, and my mum had like run the bath and that, and she said, "Is that too warm?" And I said something like, "No, it's all right. It's a lot better than when I used to have a bath in that wooden bath in front of the fire." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "You know, it happened years ago." She was a bit like, "Oh." And I can't remember that now, but she talks about it, and you know, that just goes to show that, because I was at an age when I wouldn't have known about wooden baths years ago from the fire.
No, but you talk rubbish now. So all you were doing, you were talking rubbish from an early age. Where's the problem?
No, but you can only talk rubbish if you're aware of knowledge.
Well,
I didn't know about wooden baths, so
You
why
didn't-
would I have
But
invented
Carl,
that?
we've only got your mother's word on this, and she thought you might one day be a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
She put a rock with a feather on it to keep a parrot company.
Let's hit him hard.
Lest we forget.
yeah, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's all bollocks.
So have you researched this? You've tried to find out when little Carl Mark I and his wooden bath, when he was
No, I
around?
don't want to go there, because that's when you start digging out all sorts
It's
of trouble,
rubbish.
innit?
It's rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish.
Well, it is
what
rubbish.
sort of stuff might
There's
you
no
discover?
scientific evidence.
No,
but
just like I've said about family trees and that, don't be looking at them, because you're only going to find stuff you don't really want to know about. It's the same as that, innit? Leave it, let it be. Do you know what I mean? If your granddad was Einstein, you'd know about it because your family would be shouting about it. If he was a bad un, you'd go, oh, keep that quiet. So
Right.
don't look at family trees, and it's the same. Don't be looking back in your past lives,
there's
because
no
God knows
past
what you've been up
lives.
to. Well,
Carl and the wooden bath. Proof. If
Carl
proof we needed.
Pilkington, live on air, talking shit again.
but this tortoise. So if that's
And also, its flashbacks would just be, you know, the same wall. I mean, it basically spent, I don't know how many years, in a cage. It was in the zoo, so it died of liver failure. Which is a problem if you're a tortoise, because with us, they can cut you open and have a look at the liver. With that, it's going, forget it, we're not getting in there. It's like you when you didn't want the plumbers to knock through the tiles to check out the piping. It's the same with the tortoise. If it's a liver, we're not going through that. It's not worth it. If it's your head or your feet, we'll have a look, mate. But we're not looking at internal organs with a giant tortoise.
why not?
Because, what do you mean?
Well,
How do they
can't you drill into those things? It is only a shell. That is easier to replace than skin.
Carl, I was joking.
My mech is over.
You can't do a liver operation on a tortoise.
Good to
Why
go.
not? It's got all the same parts, hasn't it? All the same body parts and that.
Well, I think
Isn't
that's
it?
the point. Well, not really, but yeah, it's
But
loosely
better
speaking.
ones in a way, because they live longer. So they're doing something right, aren't they?
Right.
If they can live 250 odd years, our art can't do that.
Copy that.
Which is what I say about our tortoise has got it right in a way, that it's taking its time on everything. We're rushing it out, getting stressed out. That's just, you know, getting on with it. It's not rushing. It
Ready for
eats
orders.
healthy, doesn't it? It eats lettuce and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably doing it right. But to be honest, it's too much. I wouldn't want to live 250 years.
Just eating lettuce. Let's not forget that all a tortoise does is eat lettuce. It's not like it's jet skiing weekends and then getting its lettuce on a Monday. That's all it does is eat lettuce.
Yeah.
And that appeals to you, does it? Of
No, I'm just saying that it must be doing something right, though,
course it's doing something right.
Enemy down.
because it's living 250 years.
But all animals do something right, however long they live. Mayflies live a day, but they're doing something right.
Well, they're not, are they? They haven't got a chance to learn how to do it right, and then they're dead. It's, you know, that's from one extreme to another, isn't it? That just seems a bit mental to me, that living a day. I wouldn't bother, so forget it. Could you be bothered? You don't, just as you get to know someone.
Yeah, another mayfly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if we had that, if that's how we lived our lives, you wouldn't have a chance to make a mark or anything, would you? It's just...
Would you try and pack a lot in that day? Disneyland, whatever.
No, I prefer to make it miserable so I don't miss it, if you know what I mean. But I was thinking the other day about, you know, your body and everything, because it is amazing, isn't it? How it works.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Does the brain control you, or are you controlling the brain?
Firing jump jet.
I don't know if I'm in charge of mine.
Nor do I,
There's a surprise.
Nor do I,
No, do you know what I mean, though, by that?
Does
Well-
the brain control you, or do
Well,
you
when
control the brain?
like, don't you ever sort of think sometimes, say if you're making...
But
'cause
you
I
are
was
the
making,
brain.
No, but I was making a shopping list, right? Going, right, I need some rice, kidney beans, and I thought I had everything, and I sort of was rolling up the paper, and then something went, oh, an onion.
Confirmed.
Your
Some-
brain did
something
that.
went an onion. Was it
No,
Suzanne?
well, my brain sort of went, you forgot something.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd forgot. I was
No,
putting
you
that-
are your brain.
No, but don't you understand? My brain was I was in control of my brain when I was writing down rice and kidney beans.
But you're not in charge of the onion. That's another part of the brain that's in charge of the onion.
The onion sector.
No, but I put the paper away, putting my coat on, ready to go and get the rice.
Yes, but your onion lobe kicked in.
What? So you put the paper in your pocket, you got the coat on, then you just suddenly hear
Then
from
it was
nowhere,
just like, it was
onion.
like, yeah, I'm not even thinking about that shopping list. It's in my pocket. I'm thinking, do I need my gloves? It's cold out.
Yeah.
Suddenly, onion, and it was like, oh yeah, onion. Yeah, I had to get the paper out. So what I'm
write that
saying
down.
is,
But
who's
what?
in charge?
The brain, the mind. The brain is the... What are you doing?
But
Who's in
that's
charge?
just you forgot the onion and then you remembered the onion. You must have forgotten things in the past.
No, but not like that. Not where, like, it just made me think that was weird. Who reminded me of that?
You did.
Yeah, but I'm not.
No, you are your brain. It's not like there's you, then there's a brain, then there's an extra one looking down at it. The meta brain, the thing above it.
No, but your brain. How does your brain work? You give it information, don't you?
Well, it takes.
Do you mean you give it information?
Well,
It's doing it,
if
isn't
I
it?
sat in a room with nothing, not feeding it anything, it wouldn't know anything.
No, but there's this thing
Well,
that there's
then-
two yous. It's this thing that there's
There's
this.
Carl and Carl's brain.
Yeah, there's not a duality in this. If you go, come on now think. That's the brain saying that to itself. It's not. There's not two people in there having an argument. Come on, brain. And the brain's going, oh, don't you start, I was thinking then. And the other thing's going, brain, onion. And the brain goes, Carl, onion. You are your brain. If you are anything, you are your mind, your brain, your collection of memories, your personality. You're not what you look like. Does that answer your question, Carl? What did you think of then? You were thinking of a tortoise on a skateboard then when I did that last sentence, weren't you?
Went home and looked up Freud on the internet. Didn't find him that interesting, so looked at some other philosophers instead. Socrates, Aristotle. Why have you just listed some philosophers?
Damage minimal.
Just to show that I'm learning.
Well, that's not learning.
That's just learning their names.
That's a list. You might as well write 1 to 100.
Yeah, but if someone says, "Oh, what's your favourite philosopher?" I'll go, "Hang on a minute," and I've got them written down.
But why you can't just
Wait a
pick
minute, I'll
one?
go home, get my enormous diary out.
Yeah. Get a wheelbarrow, bring in my workings, and say one of the names I've written down.
Now when they say, well, why do you like him?
yeah, why do you
just
like,
run away.
I noticed you put Socrates first. Why is he your favourite philosopher?
You throw the diary at them and leg it. Oh, and then you go on to say, it's weird how names have changed, but then there's no other point there.
It just is, isn't it? When you think about, like, Socrates,
Lifting off.
I've never heard that on anyone who I know. Is what I mean. It's just, in a way...
But you're not Greek, are you?
But how did that go about back then? I mean, say if you were phoning someone up and he said, I'm booking a table for 2, they go, name? Socrates. Did he ever go, cheers? Without going, can you spell that for me?
But I don't know what else point you're making.
I'm just saying it's a name that's awkward. You're always going to have to go, can you spell that for me? You go, and it's not just him. Look at all the other names that are on that list.
But they're from a different country.
And a different era.
Yeah, I know, but the names, I've been to Rome and stuff, and you sort of go...
What, ancient Rome?
Copy that.
Just Rome. It hasn't changed, has it, Rome? So it can be ancient Rome or Rome in 2006. It's
Yeah.
the same buildings.
I used to love Nero going around in his Fiat Punto.
Target's taking a critical hit.
Lao Tzu from years ago came up with some good stuff. One, he who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Not entirely true. To lead people, walk behind them.
Yeah.
And of course, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Yeah.
Did that.
Just favourites.
Maybe this is why people are at the start line spectating at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, no, it's just that I've never understood why in Olympics and stuff like that, if you're going to watch, don't stand around the start line. Go to the end, where you see the winner. But because of that saying, it actually makes sense, doesn't it? It's like, well, every step starts with a step, or whatever.
Say it again?
Every race, you know, you've got to start with a step.
Yeah.
So,
Which is, who am I talking to now? You or your brain?
well, I was thinking about it a bit, so I think I was in control of it a bit more.
So, and what have you come up with?
Just if you want to stay at the start line, do.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, if you're into, I wouldn't watch a race, right?
Okay.
But
Is this you or your brain I'm talking to now?
this is me.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch.
Are you gonna bring the brain into it, or is it? There's no.
I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is,
Right.
if I was to watch a race,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hang about the start line because.
Well, you just said you would.
What did I?
Yeah, you said that's the place to start because every race starts with a step.
No, but I wouldn't normally.
Right.
I
Okay.
won't watch any
The
race.
brain definitely hasn't been used
No,
yet.
is this you or your brain you're talking about now?
I'm just saying about me. If I was on holiday
Yeah,
and Suzanne said there's a race going on down the road,
yeah.
I'd go, well, let's go, keep going down the road and stand at the finish line.
Okay, but now what have
according
you
to
thought?
Lazoo,
Yeah.
I'd say, well, hang on a minute. Every race starts with a single step.
Yeah.
How many people around the start line? Is there more room there? She goes, yeah. I'll go, let's go there, then
Firing
it's
full
less
complement
busy.
on him.
Right, and what would you see there then?
I'd see people starting the race, but I wouldn't be that impressed with them because I'd go, well, I don't know if any of these are any good.
So would you start at the start or the end then?
If it was down to me, I'd just probably stay at the finish line.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to see the first step then? So what
Not
do you think of Lazoo now then?
Commander.
It's not what, but I wrote down 3 of his. That one isn't my favourite. That was the 3rd. I preferred the leading people from behind.
Okay, and what would you do to lead someone now then?
Coordinates.
Well, if you're behind, you don't have to take responsibility, do you? You can go, well, I didn't send you here. You went there.
That's not really leading them, though, is it?
Yeah, because I've made them think. I've gone. They go, oh, I've just walked into a big hole. I'd go, oh, should have been looking where you're going.
Target
I haven't led them in that hole, but they've learnt a lesson. They won't go in a hole again.
That was one of the greatest conversations I've ever been a part of. I mean, that was incredible. Never mind Aristotle and Socrates. That was incredible, that. If someone's out there, could they make a transcript of that? Because I think that, you know, in 1,000 years' time, that'd be amazing. That was incredible, Carl.
And not once was the brain used.
All weapons
Like
committed.
those monkeys peeling potatoes.
Right. That's never happened. They go and put nuts in the salt water to salt the nut.
Whatever.
How does that get to peeling potatoes?
But all-
Because in your head, they were working in a canteen.
Making chips.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It doesn't matter what the food is. I'm just saying how they know how to sort of prepare
I
that
love the
food.
fact that you don't care what the fact is. When you're discussing facts, that's all that matters. Otherwise, on Mastermind, they just go, who wrote Much Ado About Nothing? Dickens? Yeah, close enough, whatever, someone did. The fact is what matters.
Yeah, but with that question, that's got a straightforward answer. What I'm telling you is the way that animals work. If it's a potato or a nut, it's a foodage.
Do you know what he said to me the other day? This is unbelievable. This is one of the most stupid, incredible things I've ever heard. He was talking, and he suddenly stopped, and he was thinking about it, and he went, oh, I don't know what, he went, you'd never see a black ghost.
Extraordinary.
True, though, isn't it?
I've never seen a ghost, full stop.
There are no ghosts. There aren't ghosts.
No, I mean when you just see them in, like, magazines and that.
Play a record!
This is a bit of a bigger issue. We're always making more and more stuff, right, in the world. You know, big buildings, big planes, big boats and that. Will we ever get to a point where all this is too heavy for the world to handle?
Right, what error has he made there, Steve? What physical, scientific error has he made there with that question?
I can't begin to explain it.
Carl, we're not getting the rocks from other planets. It's already here. It's like having a big pile of books in a room and then moving them over to the other side of the room and build a thing going, oh, can the room take it? I'm building a lot of things out of these books.
What about plastic? Where's that come from?
Other chemicals that existed on the planet.
Yeah.
Did you see the point?
Course now, Commander.
Hang on a minute, though. What about a little tree? You plant that as an acorn, it grows, Rick. That's bigger, that's more stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him, Carl. He's patronising
What
you.
about acorns and that, though?
Right, they grow from minerals and proteins already in our atmosphere or in our the mass of Earth.
What about a cat, Carl? Right, you get it, it's a very tiny kitten, but it grows up and it's bigger.
Carl, he's doing it on purpose.
Elephants. Baby
Elephants, they're very small to begin with, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger until they get heavier and heavier.
Mind you, dinosaurs have gone.
You know, but you...
Either a chimpanzee with a typewriter with an infinite amount of time, he would eventually, by definition, mathematically, type everything ever possible, okay? Or it's an infinite amount of chimps with typewriters, and one of them will type it first time.
But already that's sort of... That's not right. You either need to have
What do
one
you mean?
monkey.
What? You mean
Let's hear
employment
his point.
laws?
You
What do you mean
can't-
it's not right?
Let's hear him out, please.
Okay.
If it's one monkey
Yeah.
with a typewriter that's got loads of ink in it and that, right? At least it knows what it's done in the past.
It's not...
Keep going.
Crime.
if you've got a load of monkeys, it's like if you have too many. What's that saying about too many chefs?
Too many chimps spoil the soup.
Right. Well, it's the same thing. It's like, well, I didn't tell you to put salt in it. I was going to put salt in it, and it messes it up. Whereas if it's just one, they know what's gone on. So what I'm saying is,
just leave him go. I can't be bothered,
I want
Steve.
to hear. I want to hear the rest.
This blows my mind. He doesn't know what this does to me. It's a mathematical problem.
I want to hear the rest.
well, it's just I just don't think it will happen.
What do you mean you don't think it'll happen? Infinity works it out for you, by definition.
But not Shakespeare.
Oh! Shut up, you idiot!
Rick, do you know what he said to me? I said to him, I explained it to him. I said,
God.
you've got an infinite number of monkeys, infinite number of typewriters. They will type the complete works of Shakespeare. He said, have they read Shakespeare?
You're an idiot! Play a
I said
record,
no.
'cause I'm not having this conversation. Do you know Anne Frank?
That's all I know about Anne is there's no point pretending it.
Anne!
That I know stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so tell us everything you know about Anne Frank.
She was in a cupboard.
Yeah, what else?
If she didn't do that, I wouldn't know about her, seriously. That's all I know about her.
Yeah.
So what did she do?
But how do you think we know? We know about her cupboard because of her book, don't we?
But hang on, what in the bigger scheme of things, why was she in a cupboard?
I don't know.
Right.
I honestly don't know.
You don't know anything else about Anne Frank beyond the fact that, to quote you, she was in a cupboard.
Well, what's she done then? You tell me, why should I know more about her?
Firstly, I don't think she was in a cupboard.
She wasn't in a cupboard. She was in an attic.
Alright.
Yeah.
So what was she doing?
She was hiding from the
Tidying
Nazis. She was hiding from the Nazis.
But isn't that the first place they'd look? Sort of work from the top down.
Oh, they weren't specifically looking for Anne Frank.
They weren't going, where is she?
Where's Franker?
If she gets that book out, we are in the deep shit. We've got to stop the book. Imagine, oh God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Carl.
I wouldn't do it like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Carl.
No, but Suzanne was, alright, my missus, if you're a new listener.
You keep her, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news, trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather? What?
Do you know what I mean? I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, well, you take notice of this. Should be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it.
What did you come up with? You must
What would
have.
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, to sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one. Taking the best out of
Well,
both.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like, KP looks after me.
That would be the badges, would it?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm a KP nut.
KP looks after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about policies, transport, crime? Just law and order.
Yeah, what would you do? How would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Yeah. Would I have to worry about that?
Okay.
Well, you're
No,
the Prime
good point.
Minister.
Good point.
No, what I'm saying is that, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then. What are the problems at the moment? That needs sorting out.
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you go harsher for say I don't know drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons to
Higher or
both, isn't
lower?
it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, the difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You'd think about it for a bit.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Yeah. Can we
What about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if I was new, though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate, do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course you can.
I'm in charge now. Let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now
So
this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends who might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. Would you? What would you do about single-sex marriages, same-sex marriages?
See,
Would
this
you-
got this Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, you know, what do you think about gay fellas getting married? And he went, no, in the Bible it says, you know, a man and a woman. And I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it. They love Big Brother, don't they? The gays.
Yeah, so interesting. But
So,
what would
yeah.
your take be on that? Same-sex marriages?
And then what? Having a kid?
Well, just let's start off with, you
Well,
know,
that's all right, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. It's
Sure.
not affecting anyone else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving any. I mean, you know, we're not. There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
all right if you were if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right, and you just had these two fellas, right,
Yeah.
looking after you, but because you got no one else looking in on that, saying, "Oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you?" Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to
why have they got married? Do you think the gay people turned to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, we're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum. That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
it makes
don't-
you wonder. If,
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet. I'll try a bit of knob.
No. But what I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in like a little jungle,
What can I do
Right.
for you?
Yeah.
you
How
want
are you brought up?
someone just puts you there.
I don't know what.
Explain.
I don't know
I
what
can't be
this is
bothered,
about.
Steve. I can't be bothered
Go
running
on,
the
mate. I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough. What
okay.
I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Right.
right, on your
What do you
own-
mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought-
understand
brought
what
up,
he means?
though?
Like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps. What?
Right, well, there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right,
up,
he's
Bob?
brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally
Copy
with him.
that.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or do you know what's his reference
I
points?
can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should be, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
Multiple targets confirmed.
So, there we go. Carl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Carl?
Just a little bit sort of amazed
Yeah.
by the body.
Yeah. You're in
Just
awe of it, aren't you?
Just the way,
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
no, but seriously, what would, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think
Yeah.
if you're
Engaging
locked up,
target.
well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life except there's no women in it,
Destroyed.
Yeah.
right?
But how would that happen? What would his point of reference be? How would you bring
Right,
up
hang
a
on a minute,
person
can I just ask
and
you something
totally...
though?
Go on.
How can infinite monkeys and a typewriter?
Right, again, I've told you before, right? That is not... You don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've told you before. It works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
when you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you'd start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. You don't, if you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, I wonder what that is. You'd go, get me a sandwich, I'm starving.
It's different though. It's different.
Yes.
But I'm not. But we're not
Body's
saying
weird.
it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
Body's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's that one. I'll tick that.
was-
It's weird, isn't it?
No,
I'll
the body is. There was something.
Yeah.
Did you read that thing the other week about?
Man with 2 penises?
No, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him and put a snooze on him from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, well, don't send him back to jungle. Let him set off on his own. Bodge it, wibble and podge. You'd make the best judge in the world.
No, there was a fella.
Here's a banana.
Here's something I've learned. Remember?
Go
Going
on.
back to like show 4 or whatever.
Go on.
What is it? The flea can jump over the London Eye.
No! No, it can jump the equivalent of if it was a 6-foot man. It can jump about 6 inches high. A flea cannot jump over the London Eye.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it can.
And
Tell your kids that.
Oh,
remember-
Oh, a flea can jump over the London Eye. And an ant can lift 3 Volvos.
It's a slightly truncated show, isn't it, today, Carl? We've
I
got
don't
nothing
like
to
it.
we trust.
I don't like change, and that's what's happened. I'm not
You
happy
don't, do
today.
you? You're like Rain Man. He really is like Rain Man. Anything change, he's got to get in a little routine. You can't.
No, I don't like to. I'm not like Suzanne's mum and dad and what have you, where routine cannot change no matter what.
Like what?
Well, we've talked about it where, you know, if it's a Tuesday, I'm having sausage, egg and chips no matter where I am. That's what they're like.
Right.
That's what they'll remember, actually. When I'm saying about stuff about Live 8 and all that, you know, people will remember. If people said to a dad, you know, you remember Live 8? Okay, what day was it on? Tuesday. Well, I had sausage, egg and chips. Nothing changes. But the thing is, today, normally we have a bit of a, you know, I know what we're doing where and all that, and it's all sort of messed up.
We don't usually know what we're doing where. We say, what should we do next?
No,
You go,
but I know, like, Rockbusters has been done early,
Right.
so that's normally done at
Because that's
about,
really
about 5
throwing you. I
minutes.
say, uh-oh.
I just don't, I don't like all this change and that. It's messing about, isn't it?
Rain Man.
If you get, I mean, I think I read that, like, a big chunk of ice fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like, I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water, and it's melted. And they said, oh, it's bad news, you know, that something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube, and it's gonna freeze it up again. You with me?
Not really, Carl.
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube,
Yeah.
the size of the Empire State Building,
Yeah.
stick it in the water,
Yeah.
it's gonna make, it's gonna stick back on again, isn't it?
Well,
It's
no,
gonna stick back
only
on
if
again.
it freezes up again.
Yeah,
What
well,
do
it
you
will
mean it's
freeze up, the
Well, it
water's gonna
won't,
get cold again, because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the
because
ice
it's not,
melts.
if you put one the size of the Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's gonna make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but you see that I'm using my fables, imagining a world.
Use your brain instead.
What is your favourite word?
That's bad.
Don't think I've got a favourite, because you only use them when you need to, don't you? I don't just go about saying the same word. So,
Well, all right.
yeah, it's not my favourite, it's just that it does the job. It does the necessary job for that time, doesn't it? It's like, how are you? I'm alright. It's a greeting.
What about I think serendipity was voted England's favourite word.
Never used it.
No, stupid word.
Who decided that?
Don't know. It was a poll, but I will suggest things. I can't believe
Receiving.
people coming up going, favourite word, serendipity.
Thanks for asking.
So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is, say if it meant, oh, I'm fed up, would it still be the best word? Is it based on how it sounds and how it's put together, or what it means?
I think everything.
But then loads of words are being left out on, you know, which are probably brilliant words, and they're not getting a look in.
Such as?
Well, like that one, fed up. I'm fed up. It
Two-
sums
two
it up,
words,
doesn't it?
two
Well,
words.
two, you know. It just sums it up. When someone goes, how are you?
One
You go,
for the
I'm
scrap.
fed up, mate. Sick of it. It's another good one.
Oh, we're getting somewhere. Come on, some of your other favourites, right?
I've had enough. It's just all stuff
These
that...
aren't words, they're phrases.
They're all negative. They're
Yeah.
all whinging.
These aren't words. What's your favourite thing? My favourite thing to do is moan.
Yeah.
That would be well, it's not one word, it's loads of words. Fed up, sick of it. Oh, that's enough. Oh, jeez.
Whinge should be your favourite word.
Yeah. Whinge is a good word. I like NGEs. Lozenge, whinge, flange.
Yeah. What is your least favourite word?
Got it.
It might be serendipity. That would be up there for me. I'll tell you what, that would be up there for me.
Probably
it-
like French words that have made it into the English thing.
Blancmange.
Just
There's an unge there. So, you know...
How could you dislike it?
How could you dislike blancmange?
but just you know, as if we haven't got enough words in our books.
Go on,
Because I
lad.
was thinking about
Go on.
alphabet, right? Why have we got that many? When other countries get by without that many letters in it.
We got more words than any other language as well.
But that's because we got more letters.
Well, I don't know.
So
that.
we've created a headache. I reckon you could at least half it.
Well, you probably could half it.
Well, you only use about half a dozen of them.
No, but stuff like an X, you look at words that have got X in, and they're always words that you go, what does that mean? How's someone come up with that? That's how it comes across to me, and there's loads of big words. It's like dinosaur names. It's like, well, look, nobody was about when they were knocking about, so let's
You've
make up
learned that
some.
at least.
Let's make up some names for them using the letters that hardly get used. They've all got Y's and X's in them.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, let's use it for that.
Yeah.
So you just, it's not so much what is your least favourite word, you just don't really like most of the words.
Just, say,
that are
just
not
cut down the words. Stop adding new words. I get by, I don't know how many words there are in the world, but I reckon I hardly use any of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, this year's word must be podcast.
Moving
Yeah,
to
but
position.
That'll be in the dictionary, and
But it's made up, innit? It wasn't here before, it's just another one. This is what I'm saying about...
but what else would you call this? You know, there is a new
broadcast.
concept called podcasting. That is a podcast.
But it's also a broadcast. We had a word for it. It's still a broadcast.
Yeah, but they go, oh, you're a broadcaster. Oh, right, what radio station? No, I don't work on a radio station. I do a radio show, but I don't understand. Well, I do a radio show and I upload it. I don't understand. It's called a podcast. Done.
Here's another idea.
Go
Add
on.
a new one, get rid of an old one. Last one in, first one out, or whatever. Do it that way. That's a good way.
What would you get rid of then? So we brought in podcast this year, but what word would you lose?
Well, what's the name?
Standing by.
Those birds that died out.
Dodos.
Get rid of it. If the bird's gone, the word can, surely.
It's almost profound. It's amazing. It's great. Oh, God.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Learning.
That's a nice answer.
Learning,
Excellent.
learning
Will you
stuff.
say that?
Yeah, but everything you teach me, I take it in. It's just that sometimes I go, I don't get it. But that still counts as far as I'm concerned.
Well, no, it doesn't. Learning is knowledge is. There must be some sort of retention. You can't say I've got a great memory for a second. You can't say that. It has to stay there, and then knowledge has to be, applied. You can't just have all this knowledge that isn't applicable because it's useless. I mean, trivia is useless to a large extent. It's not real knowledge because it doesn't really help you in practically.
No, but there's a lot of that going on. You're always reading stuff that you go, I've just read that. It's got me thinking for a minute. It's not going to help me in any way, but it gets a reaction, doesn't it?
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's what
I
art
mean.
does, and yeah, sometimes education's good for its sake if it really does inflame. But
But then sometimes, like I've said before, you can know too much where it gets you down.
go on.
I just was reading something about an octopus. That's like a killer octopus. And it annoyed me that this was knocking about now. Because I didn't know, I thought they were quite friendly. Whenever you see them in cartoons and that, they're always happy, aren't they? And then suddenly, like, they've sort of brought the whole sort of creature down. Do you know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Well, just you know, when you see them in films, they're running about and that, and everybody likes an octopus. But this one that's on the... It was your fault, really, because you told me about that frog that's going about killing people.
No, I didn't say that.
So I looked it up on the internet at, like, other creatures and stuff. And
.com.
there's some octopus that's in the sea. And what it does, you don't even have to, like, threaten it. It just spits in the water. And if that stuff gets on you, does you in.
Again,
So in a way it's good knowledge, because I mean I don't go in the sea anyway because it's full of stuff like that, but that's just reassured me that I'm doing the right thing. If they're knocking about just gozzing everywhere, you don't even have to be near one, you don't even know if it's been spitting and stuff. It can kill you. It just seems unfair. I haven't harmed it, I haven't gone near it, why is it getting annoyed with me? Doesn't seem right. So that's where a knowledge has not helped that octopus out. Because now, when you eat them, I just think, yeah, have another one.
Orders?
Do you know what I mean? Get rid of them.
another conversation with himself. Another conversation with himself.
Got the
What is your
Eagle.
favourite
Taking the
curse
shot.
word?
I don't think I do anything like that. I think people can tell by my face when I'm like fed up.
Well, they know you're fed up because you're always whinging.
I don't think I've got one. Knobhead. That sums everything up, and I think it's.
But you wouldn't call your nan a knobhead, would you? What would you call a nan?
But she doesn't do anything to annoy me that much.
But if she did, what would you say? If she really annoyed
Well,
you?
knobhead's all right, isn't it? Because she sort of gets it. It's one of them things that everybody understands, but it's not too offensive.
Right.
What a knobhead.
All right, you're getting into this, aren't you?
So that sums it up. But I don't really. Do you need one of them? What's that doing for you? It's better to think, innit? Like, okay, I've just slagged off that octopus, but at no point was a effing and jeffing about it. You know how annoyed I am with it. I don't have to start swearing about it, and that's.
What would you do though if you were swimming, right? It was a nice little thing. You're on holiday, right? And there's this octopus there, and you're going around, right? And you just see it start spitting at you, poison. What would you say? to it?
Well, it's too late then, isn't it? And I'd kick it, and I'd say, "You knobhead." I would, but what's the point? What's the point in getting annoyed now? Because it's done its stuff on it.
He's kicking and calling it a knobhead under the water. What is this octopus thinking? Oh God! Oh, okay, you fucking eight-legged shit.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I don't know what you're saying.
Fucking cunt of a mollusk.
I just spit at you again. It's not bothered.
You slimy little fucking boneless wanker.
This is why the face.
Are you
is
still
good.
talking to the octopus?
When are the exams? June?
Something like that, yeah.
We're trying to register next week, and I reckon you can get an A or B.
I'm
in
busy,
history.
I'm
In
busy.
history. No, don't worry about it. It's just easy. You get your Brody's notes. If Heat magazine, they love you, Carl. They could probably sort something out. They could probably pay for a tutor. They got a lot of money. They sell a lot of magazines.
I mean, it is always, almost always, and you found that out, I discovered this, it's always the Tudors and Stuarts. There's no fear for that, them not coming up. Now, what do you already know about them? You must already know stuff about Henry VIII and Elizabeth.
No, because it's too long ago to even get interested in. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why you
relate to
didn't-
it.
Okay.
The Anderson thing, it was like, God, you know, I bet my mum and dad were in an Anderson shelter. You know, this is interesting.
What, when they...
Oh, my granddad would have like had something to do with this. But the Tudors, it's like I don't know even if they had a family back then. It's got the problem with the moon is.
Here's a statement. The problem with the moon is ...
Yeah, the problem with the Earth is there's too much water.
Yeah.
No, the moon. It's been around ages, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's got no history. It's got nothing to show for it. Just a load of old rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, history is created by stuff happening on it. So really, the moon, even though it's old, in a way it's new. Because it's untouched and that.
But we don't go to the moon to visit museums or arcades.
No, but
or
say like
historical landmarks.
Henry VIII, right? You watch Antiques Roadshow or whatever, and some woman goes, "Oh, this plate you've got, this was Henry VIII's." And as you can see the knife marks on it. oh look, there's some chicken on it, right? And you go, oh God, yeah, that's amazing. Then someone goes in and goes, here's a plate of Henry VIII, but it hasn't been used, it's still in the box. You'd go, well, it's not as good, that. It's got no history.
No, because very often on the Antiques Roadshow, they have Henry VIII's plate with a bit of chicken on it. They kept that. Don't throw that away. Why? Arthur Negus are like that in a few hundred years' time.
No, but do you understand what I'm saying? Things are only good if stuff's happened on it. The moon, you're up there, you're having a look, you're going, no one else has even been here.
But you go to the moon for research purposes, for
Well, there's
scientific
nothing there,
research.
Steve. This
What
is
do you mean
I'm
there's
saying.
nothing there? They're examining the soil and the
Got soil
environment
here.
and the air.
It's just a long
Well, they're
way
not
to
doing
go
that, are
for
they?
nothing.
They're just not doing that.
Well, they're not, are they? Because last time they went up, they were playing golf or something. There's golf balls up there that they've been whacking about. What sort of research is that? That's what I'm saying. There's nothing up there, so why else would you go all that way and go, oh, nothing here. Fancy a knockabout?
All weapons.
Why are they knocking golf balls about if there's really important stuff to look at? You don't see people in museums going, fancy having a knock some golf balls about? No, I'm looking at this vase. Oh, right, that's interesting. But on the moon, nothing. Nothing to look at. What other games have you brought? That's what I
Good to
mean.
go.
And then we went and had a look at the volcanoes and that. They've got 36 of them to look at.
How many did you look at before you realised that pretty much, you've seen one volcano, you've seen them all?
Probably about 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah.
And then when you got to the 8th, you thought, no, I know what this is going to be, Suzanne. This is going to be like a mountain with a hole in the top.
Yeah.
Knocking on target.
Really?
But it happened years ago as well. It's like, just keep a couple, fill the rest in, tidy it up.
Fill the rest in!
Yeah, no,
Well,
yeah.
getting some builders.
No, seriously though.
Okay, 4 million tons of concrete, please.
They're an absolute death trap.
Yeah, what? Yeah. What do you mean fill them in? Do you know what a volcano is?
Just hole, isn't it? That's happened.
Well, it's more than the
happened back
hole.
in-
It's more a portal to the magma in the centre of the earth.
Back in 1730 it happened, and they still haven't sorted it out.
Well, when you say it happened, volcanoes were made a lot longer ago
no.
than 1730.
No, but the one that
Right,
did
Commander.
Lanzarote in.
Right.
Sort it out.
What would you suggest? How
tidy
can they
up.
fill it in? It's joined. It's all joined.
No, but what I'm
and
saying is, it was
the
a-
big
it was-
plates of the earth are all joined.
it
All
was
the
a disaster,
magma's
wasn't it?
joined.
With the trade centre thing, that happened. They cleaned it up, sorted it out, they've moved on. That's what I'm saying. Whereas Lanzarote have just gone, leave it. It happened back in 1730.
You misunderstand me. How, in the name of God, can you fill in a volcano? You ignorant twit.
No, but it's not just the holes. They've actually left the lava everywhere. That's what I mean. It's not just the big holes. There's lava everywhere.
Firing on target.
But it's molten rock. They can't just pick it up like a carpet.
Put it in the holes. The holes are there ready. Just push it all in.
Anyway, listen. Rob's question is this, Carl, and it's specifically to you. Carl, if you could have a superpower like Superman, what would your superpower be?
Can I suggest consciousness?
Can't take many more hits like
Can
that.
I have the power of thought?
Remember, you've already got opposable thumbs. So cross that one off the list.
Oh, go on, Carl.
Now, there's so many to choose from. Telepathy, X-ray vision.
Flight, invisibility,
Choose it wisely.
strength, intelligence.
But why have I been picked?
Oh, for God's sake!
No, no, but I'm just saying. I'd
It's
say,
Rob's question
no,
for
no,
you.
But I'd just say, does anyone else want this? Or, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
No,
what do you wish you
no,
could do that's
no,
impossible is the
because-
question,
no,
or out of, what? What do you mean?
Because with that comes a responsibility. Is what
With
I'm saying.
enormous power does come great responsibility.
So, would you like spidey senses? Is that what you're saying? Would you like some senses? Would you like some sense? The power of sense?
Come on, Carl. You know what these superheroes do. They can.
I know, but it
They can
always
freeze
they're
things,
never
they-
happy, are they? Do you know what I mean? Spider-Man that wanted to tell that girl that he could climb walls and that. He's like, I can't. Superman didn't never tell Lewis and that.
Who's Lewis? Who's Lewis?
Lewis.
Who's Lewis?
It's just a pen pal of Superman's.
Lewis! His little secret chum! Yeah! Alright, Superman. Hello, Lewis. What are you doing? Superman. Who are you? I can't tell you, Lewis. Brilliant.
You know, Hulk, he wasn't happy. So,
But you're being allowed to choose the superpower. You don't have to get it forced upon you like the Hulk.
Hulk, he wasn't happy. It's true. He's got a theme.
True.
He has got a theme. There's not many happy superheroes, are
But
there?
leaving aside the superheroes you're already aware of,
Yeah.
what superpower would you want? You don't have to fight crime with it, Carl.
Everyone around the world now is thinking, what can Carl choose? Let's deliver it to him now, Carl. Think about it and give us the answer, please.
Let me just remind you of some of the other things. Invisibility.
All the time, though, or can I sort of turn that on and off?
Roger.
Let's say you could turn it on and off. Would that interest you?
Yeah. I'll have that.
Right. Okay, and what would you do with this power of invisibility?
Just sort of wander about and that, just don't
Locking
get
on.
seen.
It's a brilliant power! It's a brilliant... And it's put to such brilliant use! It's brilliant! Well done!
And why would you want to walk around and not be seen in that? What would you gain from that?
Don't know. You could sort of go in shops when they shut, so you don't have to go. with
How
the
would you get
crowds.
in?
Just get in just before they lock up.
Oh, yeah! How would you
then
get out?
Wait till the morning.
Brilliant.
So hang on. So that's your use of invisibility.
Yeah.
They found the power of invisibility. You want to sneak into... Never mind. No, hang on. You want to sneak into HMV, right? Wait for 12 hours and then buy something.
I love it.
Just so that you don't have to be in there with other people.
Do you know what? I don't want it. I don't want a power
Why not?
because I just don't think it'll do me any good.
Taking a
I think it's more of a hindrance.
I love this. It's like, just think of his presents. We've given you a trip into space, and the chance to be invisible.
Not happy with any of them.
Yeah, what he wants is a voucher for HMV.
Yeah. He just wants some tokens for a record shop.
Some milestones in human evolution: the opposable front, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Carl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head? I don't understand. Is that what you mean?
No, because when we got sort of binocular vision.
Is that the answer?
Yeah, just cavemen in front of dinosaurs and that. They sort of went, oh, and then
Well, it wasn't cavemen in front of dinosaurs, was it? Because cavemen weren't alive when dinosaurs were alive.
there was a couple knocking about.
Right, okay, fair enough.
There was a crossover point, surely.
Not dinosaurs like you're
15
thinking of.
million. Was the probably the Ice Age. There were still big
I
reptiles.
think it's fairly common knowledge that the dinosaurs did not exist
Well, who
when...
gave the dinosaurs the name?
Well, no. Well, no. Carl, now tell me back now. What are the Amish?
They're just people who sort of live like in the olden times. So to them, they're sort of in about 1842 or something. So they're getting old papers and that. They haven't caught up to.
No.
They haven't. They don't have telly.
They don't
No.
deny. They don't deny that the 20th century has happened. They just don't want to be part of it. They look up and they see planes and they know what they are, and they go into the town and they see it in the window of Dixon's, a telly. They just don't want to be part of it.
No, they're still living.
Damn it.
They are still living like it's
Yeah, that's what I
1800.
mean, yeah.
But they don't. They know about everything else. They just don't want to be part of it because they think that the sort of the revolution was a bad thing. They think that society became more and more depraved, and they wanted to go away from it, and they want to go back to old values, and they think they don't need TV and jets and that way of life. They can survive in the old way because the old way was better.
Missing out on Live 8?
Yeah, but they haven't had Band-Aid yet.
Yeah.
I think this is the problem that Carl had. He in his mind, they were just a bit delayed, so that
Yeah.
in his head they were slowly moving towards the 20th
They wouldn't be
century.
able to watch most of these bands, all their electric guitar. They'd be allowed to watch Tracy Chapman
Yeah.
doing an acoustic set
Yeah.
between the bands. Yeah.
I'm out of
That'll be
ammo.
all right.
But no, in
love her.
Carl's mind, it's like if he...
Although they wouldn't like Fast Car. They wouldn't like singing about that. They go, I don't know what you're talking about. Pony and Trap. You got a pony and trap. That'll be all right.
But are they still? Do they still get sort of rubbish post and that saying we need your money for this, or
No,
get behind this
they
charity?
live in a isolated community. They're farmers, aren't they? They're farmers.
It's an agricultural community, and they're obviously very staunchly religious. In actual fact, it would suit you very well, because you hate crowds, you hate groups of people, you don't like the modern world. Well, you'd love it down there, wouldn't
He
you?
wouldn't like getting up at 4 o'clock to milk a cow, though, would he?
Well, no, but he'd get used to it.
Go back to bed, couldn't you?
It's probably out. I mean, have they got anything to do with the Hare Krishna people?
No, nothing at all.
Because out of all the religions, that's, you know, I'm not a religious person. I don't understand
You're
it.
only saying Hare Krishna because you've got the head. That's the only reason you think it'd
I'm
be...
halfway there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, out of all it, you just what was that?
Money just fell out of my pocket where I'm nearly laying down.
That's the danger of wearing sweatpants everywhere you go.
I'm only ever lying down in a chair.
No, I'm you know, I've never been a religious type. You know, if people want to do it, I let them do it and what have you.
Good of you.
But out of all of them, I want one that's not going to take over your life. I don't want one where you've got to get up 3 times a day and you've got to go and pray and that you've got to get up early. Forget that. It's getting in the way. But if it's something like, I was walking to work the other day, right, crossed Oxford Street. There's a little Hare Krishna fella there, and he sort of had he had a leaflet and stuff, and he said, you know, are you interested? And I said, what do you do?
Internal structure.
And he said, well, you know, we're against getting stressed out and what have you. And he gave me a plum. They hand out food for some reason. But I sort of asked a few questions.
That's just the imagery. These two bold people, one of
Yeah.
which is wearing an orange smock.
Holding a plum in the
He
middle.
hands the other one a plum. It's almost like you can imagine some kind of religious painting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you know, what is their sort of main thing? Because he didn't really tell me that much. He was a Japanese bloke, so I didn't know what he was saying that much.
Why? He wasn't speaking English.
Not very well. He wasn't the best sales bloke to send out for them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what's that? Are they? You're saying they're nothing like?
Well, I believe Hare Krishna is a kind of as an offshoot of a sort of Buddhist faith.
It is. I
And,
think they are Buddhist, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously their kind of trademark, as it were, is that they have to say, I believe they have to say Hare Krishna in a certain rhythm, in a certain order, a certain amount of times per day. That's why you see them walking down the street saying Hare Krishna, because it's actually a sort of religious chant which they're obliged to do. So you see, even if you go into the Hare Krishna faith, you may find yourself, you know, in Tesco or whatever, forced to say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Perhaps
out,
why
out loud,
out
not just
loud.
thinking it.
Yeah, no, out
You
loud.
can put it on an iPod and
You couldn't put that on an iPod, that doesn't count. No, I think you have to actually say it. So I guess that kind of eats into your social life a little bit.
And there's the wearing orange as well.
Particularly frustrating, I imagine, if you're in a cinema or a library. A little bit awkward there, you know, midway through
Or
Star
you
Wars,
live
whatever.
next door to a bloke called Hare Krishna
Yeah,
who constantly thinks you're calling him.
yeah,
That probably.
yeah. So that's in this. I mean, I don't think we've quite done the Hare Krishna faith its full service there, but so interesting to you. I mean, you got handed a plum. You've been treated well by them.
Yeah, well, but he couldn't tell. I just wanted to know how much time it would take up. What are the benefits? You know, what can you do? What can't
Well, I
you
think
do?
the benefits are they probably don't get stressed out. They've probably got that sort of that zen, that chi-ness about them where they try and interact and
Quite meditative.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some nice trainers as well, don't they, with their
Yeah.
orange.
What are you looking for then in a faith, Carl? You say what are the benefits? I mean, obviously Catholicism, you get the communion wine and bread, so
Yeah, but I can afford that.
right.
Probably just I like the Crusaders. I was forced into joining that as a kid because a mate sort of joined it, and he sort of said he'd join in. I sort of swore at him. I said I'm not doing that. Right?
Yeah.
He said right, if you don't come with me, I'll tell your mum that you just swore. So I was like, oh. So I went. So I went along, and they used to just go on the Friday when they played, you know, Sabutio and stuff. And then I went on one Sunday, and it was totally different. There was no Sabutio. There was no sort of, you know,
Table tennis.
the thing where you hold a thing and knock things over.
Skittles.
Skittles. There was all that on a Friday. Went on the Sunday. It was rubbish. He said, right, sit down in this room. They gave me a Bible. Thought this looks too heavy. This is too big. I'm not interested in this book. And I never went again. I used to hide on a Sunday when they came round. And that's been the only sort of...
I suddenly, why did it suddenly turn out to have to hide on a Sunday when they're coming round?
Because they wouldn't leave. They wouldn't leave.
Who was
the
it? Were they
house.
adults?
It was sort of a... Well, he seemed like an adult to me at the time, but he was probably about 27.
Well,
like
that is an adult.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? He seemed a lot older when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And he came knocking and that, and he used to say to me, Mum, I'll just tell him I'm ill or something. And they used to hang around to see if I'd eventually come out to play and that.
Engaging.
And if I did, I think they would have grabbed me and took me there.
I love the idea that you want that for you, religion has to bring with it some kind of gift. It's like, you know, join our faith and you get an alarm clock radio. It's like something like
But
those
I think
banks or
religion.
credit
But I think
cards.
religion does bring a gift. Usually, it's
Well, the gift of the Lord.
Well, the gift of everlasting life, isn't it? And that's the problem with it. You know, a lot of people believe in it because they think.
But for
I'll be
Carl,
all right.
his feeling is like that should be a given. That's safe. I'm definitely going home with eternal life. But what
Yeah.
else can I have? Is there
Why
an
do you have
iPod
to
in
have
it?
a religion? Because obviously I don't have a religion. I don't miss it, and I wouldn't want one. I'm an atheist, and that's out of belief. That's out of logic, and we don't get into the politics or the morality of it. Why do you feel you need a religion? Why don't you just get a hobby?
Well, I didn't want one. I don't want one. I just was saying that, you know, if I was to get one, which one would I go for? Is what I'm saying.
I'd
Yeah, I
like
mean,
to see you perhaps as a Jew. I think Judaism would suit you well. I think.
What are the hours like for that?
Tough. Can be tricky.
That's what I mean. I don't want anything that's, you know... And they have a day where they don't eat and stuff. I couldn't be doing that.
So they may have days when they eat a lot too much.
Yeah, but what happens if I'm not that hungry that day? Like I say, I don't like change.
Carl, would you like to be American?
No, not at all.
Really?
On
Got
my
me
way.
nerves. When I was in
Get on my nerves.
when,
A whole nation there reduced.
when I was in Barbados at Christmas,
Confirmed.
Oh, name dropping.
right?
Yeah.
There's loads of them there because that's.
Was that when you were doing a bit of extra sort of waiting? Was that you were sort of your girlfriend was cleaning rooms, wasn't she?
Went there for Christmas, and there's loads of them there because that's like really close to America. That's like Blackpool is to Manchester type.
It's
place.
exactly like that.
Yeah.
So it's
I think that's the analogy a lot of Americans use.
so.
But I think they call it the tropical Blackpool.
But they were going on.
That's only all the brochures, I'm sure.
Listen, right,
Yeah.
And serious now, but
Yeah,
they were going on
serious.
about the September 11th thing.
Yeah.
But they call it the. Of course, this is American. Of course,
Brilliant.
the 9/11.
The 9/11.
That's what they call it.
Really? Oh, that's awful. That is so. It's like people who say 24/7.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm working
Americans
my
say
ass
that.
off 24/7.
Well, Americans that say
Yeah.
that. Well, they're allowed though.
Oh, Americans are.
Yeah.
I'm talking about an English person who might say it.
Yeah.
Fool. Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Do that American accent again.
Yeah. Of course, the 9/11.
Where are you from?
What? Can we
Which part of America is that?
That's how they sounded in Barbados.
Sure.
Sure. But
Can
Carl,
you do any other impression?
but Carl doesn't. I very much doubt that Carl likes newfangled countries like America.
Yeah.
He doesn't like London,
No, true.
so he's not gonna
Have you been
like.
to America?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Went to Florida. No, they got me again.
Got on your nerves?
Yeah. Went for some food.
Yeah.
And it was the last few days. I didn't take much money with me, and we were in Florida, and we were hungry, and we went for some steak, and we had our dinner and that, and I think it's their equivalent to the Angus Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
And sat down, had the steak, and that's huge, big portions. But anyway, we didn't have much money left, and we had like another 2 days left, so we didn't leave. We didn't have much money for a tip. Do you know over there they expect it?
Yeah, a big tip, yeah.
So we left what we could, and I don't know what it was. It might have only been the equivalent to 60 pence.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to do that much. We didn't have loads of courses because we didn't have much money. So he brought us like the main
Call
course
an F.
and I don't know,
Sure,
couple of Diet Cokes. And anyway, left them the 60p.
Yeah.
On the way out, and it comes running over. Excuse me, sir, you can have this back. Because it wasn't enough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's outrageous.
What did you say?
I said, all right. 70 miles from Cusco is one of the old ancient cities of the world. A maze of old rock sort of huts, you know, sort of rock huts, boulders, walls, lots of rock-related old stuff, you know. Get lost in the maze. That's an easy thing to do. I mean, look at that old fella down there. He needs a stepladder to get out of the place. God knows what she's playing at. And that's good, isn't it? Wonder of the world. Protect it with some strings, why not? I mean, I'm struggling here, if I'm honest with you. I don't know how to sell it to you. Do you like llamas? maybe it's not that bad, but all I know is whenever I hear about Israel, it's problems. That's all I see on the news. They never have and finally, you know, a happy story. The world's largest marrow has been grown in Israel. It doesn't have to
lost
that.
one of
It's
ours.
never a fun story. It's that he's kicking off again. I sort of feel like that relationship that bloke had, you know, the one who climbed a mountain and ended up cutting the rope of his mate.
Damage
That's what
minimal.
Steve's like, he's cutting the rope here. He's leaving me dangling and shit. Sticking my head in this place. Do you know what I mean? You've got blokes walking around with guns. I just feel like I'm constantly on alert. Because there's an edginess to it, isn't there? Then it can't be that dodgy, can it? Because look at all the tourists. They sort of relax me a little bit, I think. Because you don't queue up to go into a danger zone. But there is a lot of people about with guns. You know, is it all part of it though? Do they do that for the tourists? Does it make the tourists feel like, oh, it's a bit edgy, but really, he's not going to kick off? I can't work out. At the end of the day, I'm just not that into religion. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't excite me, I don't need it in my life. But because I'm here, you know, Steve's sort of saying, well, you might as well see some of it. I said, well, like what? He said, well, the Wailing Wall. I said, you what? He said, the Wailing Wall, it's really popular over there. So I'm going to go and look at a wall. This is all new to me. It's not like I've come here with any idea of what this is about. I've no idea. They all seem to be doing different things, you know. Some are kissing the wall. He's nodding at it. People sticking bits of paper in. And there's bits of rubbish in there. There's some sort of one of those insurance things. Oh, sorry. There's like a form about insurance or something stuck in that one. So they even get junk mail. There's junk mail in the wall. It's not what I thought it would be. Jerusalem. I had this vision in the head of a place where, you know, Jesus was knocking about on a donkey. That's been shattered now. And everywhere you go, there seems to be some other religious people coming out of the woods somewhere. It's like Pac-Man, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You go down a little alley thinking this will be quiet down here, and then a load of stuff
Yes,
comes at
Commander.
you. Right. As always, I like to sort of get words and tweak them and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was thinking of either doing something with. There's a lot of weird rituals, isn't there?
A lot of weird rituals.
Yeah, there's weird stuff going on around the world.
Okay.
There is, yeah.
And I was going to tweak that to rituals.
Okay. Right.
Again, starting with the title, the pun first, then working out what it is.
And
Well, I
then-
found
and
some weird stuff.
oh right, so it's specifically
Just stuff
what?
that goes on, like
rituals.
there was
Most of the weird stuff I've heard about happened to you in Manchester in your early years.
well, in India, apparently it's good to have a flat head. So the
Again, just flirting, just bordering on the racist, but never really gets there. Always.
Well,
go
no,
on.
because there's no intent.
There's no hate. There's no hate. It's
doesn't-
just
it's
clumsy.
just-
Exactly.
yeah,
It's
it's just ignorance.
stupidity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Go on. What
Sorry,
do you
so
mean?
what do you
What
mean
do you
they've got-
mean?
it's good to have a flat
What
head?
do you mean it's good to have a flat in India?
we'll talk about it later.
Brilliant.
That's rituals. So
You've hooked a
that
few
already.
people. You've hooked a few in. Go on.
All right, so I'll have that later.
So
So,
it's
hold on.
essentially like educating Ricky, only it's specifically about rituals. Is that strictly speaking what it is?
I
Okay.
suppose so, but then again, you could say radio is all the same because it's people talking.
Okay, Carl. Brilliant. A
Yeah,
brilliant
no-
comeback.
Yeah,
So-
really good. Not all talking nonsense though.
Well,
So that's where we're.
so anyway, right. So this is when I spent time thinking of new ideas.
Right.
So that's when I came up with what did I come up with? Rituals.
Yeah.
This is about. It's good to have a flathead in India.
What
And
can I do for
just
you?
run us past
Just
that
one,
again.
yeah.
It's good to have a flat head in India.
Is that it?
Well, what they do is they put wood around your head and sort of clamp it.
Ready for orders.
And the flatter head you've got, apparently, the more attractive in some part of India. Can't remember. So that's like that's a ritual.
So I don't know where to start with this.
No.
Well, leave it. We'll be doing that. Well, we've done it. That's
So that
that
was
for
the
this
first
week.
one, was it?
Yeah.
this week.
We've got ritual,
Yeah.
which is something that I told
Last,
Ricky about.
yeah, well, last week's was brilliant. It's
was
good
it?
to have a flathead in India.
It's good to have a flat head in India. I've
That's
forgotten all about that.
brilliant.
So that's that. We didn't even do all.
What do you
we
mean?
Didn't we didn't get round to ritual.
Oh, come on, give us
No, we haven't-
ritual.
we haven't really
We
got
have
time.
quickly.
No, it's,
We have got time. Just do it. Why haven't we got time? It's 10:02.
right. Well, we've got a long track to finish on.
Well, just do it.
It's.
Do
are
it!
Are you familiar with the place called?
Go on.
Easter Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what they do out there?
Eat eggs. I don't know.
Well,
Go on.
that's close.
Go on.
Right. What they do, right? There's a load of people living on an island,
Yeah. Easter Island.
and to find out who's going to be running the place, they
don't hold elections, do they?
they have these birds that lay like expensive eggs on an island.
Expensive eggs.
Okay.
They like expensive eggs.
Fabergé eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
On this island,
Yeah. Easter Island?
once a year. No, off it, like
Oh.
about 2 miles out. Right?
Oh yeah.
And
Whitsun
and
Island.
the sea.
Shrove Tuesday.
Yeah. Pancake
We've run
Island.
out of time,
Just
right?
tell us.
No, Steve, we'll play your song.
No. Tell us. Right. Finish
Next
it now.
week, next
you
week.
don't you dare. Every Chinese kid. Go on.
Right, yeah. This is the. I didn't want to do this.
What do you
really.
want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you 3, and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Which was total rubbish. So this one should be better, maybe.
hairy Chinese kid. Right. Well, we've talked about hairy people in the past,
True enough.
haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah, again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not. There were some people that were born very hirsute. They were not the
Yeah.
people who were brought up with wolves. You
Yeah.
just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right. Well, this is like a sort of close to that sort of story. But the weird thing is, right? Chinese people aren't that hairy as a nation. No, seriously, that's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff. So this little kid who was born over there, he was like covered in stuff,
Was he?
and it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of
What
grew.
sort of hair was it? Was
thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of like a pony's mane? So he just looked like an Ewok. You know what I mean? Just like hanging down, sort of straight, dark hair.
In the picture, it looked like it grows
was it
from his
downy?
eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick, and then it just goes all the way over
You
his
don't think
head.
it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of like his back and that.
Yeah.
And
Had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff or?
no, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this is a bit weird, happening in China, where we're not normally that hairy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the press, the local press and that were getting him down, calling him monkey boy and all this.
Oh,
And
thinking Chinese press.
but the doctor,
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they?
the
It's like
doctor,
those game shows.
well,
That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
and the doctor said,
I was talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then. Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go on.
So anyway, the local press came in to see the hairy boy, the monkey
yeah,
boy.
and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said
Showing him nuts.
he's only hairy. Said he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the
That's
the end of the story.
That's not a story.
Commander.
why.
Well, but I've got nothing. I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and the boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like bloke from Manchester went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He was normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Copy that.
When you were a little Pilkington, right? What was if you had hair? What would it be like?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously had hair then, back then. What was the style?
It was like sort of. I had quite sort of fine, sort of straight hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Hairdresser once said to me, "You've got hair of a Chinaman."
He was a wise man, wasn't he? What do you think that meant then? Oh.
He just said you got the same hair as a Chinese man has. Very straight, quite fine.
Why is he telling you? I just imagine this pal going, the Arsenal did well, didn't it, sir? Should I have something on that? You got that you have the hair of a Chinaman. I'm sorry, nothing. You're not the spy. No, I'm not. Thank you. Good night. Oh,
It was
you're not
really
my
nice
dog.
one.
Yeah, lovely.
It was
You have the feet of a fish. I'm sorry, nothing. It's not you. Okay, next. You have the hair of a Chinaman.
It was one of those barbers. It was a cheap one, just on a railway bridge.
I don't believe that. Go on.
On a railway bridge.
That's why it was cheap. It was very low rent, so he could charge.
That wasn't the
50p.
barber, that was a man with some scissors.
Yeah. Did you go? Oh, have to move you there, sir. Wow. Okay, back in the chair, sir.
I imagine them on one of those things you always see in old films where you've got to
You
kind
have
of
to
press
pump it
down
up
on
and
that
down,
thing
yeah,
so it
like a
travels along the
seesaw.
track.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't as good as that. It was just a normal chair, little wooden hut, and he did have to stop when a train came past because it used to.
Well, because he had to change the signal.
just making a few extra
Yeah,
bumps.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That's
that.
Manchester for you.
Oh God.
I always
Oh, it
remember
wasn't
him.
Bernard Cribbins, was it?
I always remember him saying, "Do you want your hair washing?" And I said, "Is it free? You know, does it come with it?" And he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Oh, go on then." He said, "Hang on now, I'll just have to wash these mugs up." He had like a sink full of mugs.
Oh
So I'll just
God.
take these out and then I can wash your head.
Oh no.
And that's why
Why did you go to this man?
it was cheap. It was
How
like,
much was it?
About £2.
And when was this?
God, at 88, 89.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened to your Chinese hair? When did it start coming out?
You have the hair of a bald Chinaman now, don't you?
You've got the hair of a Chinaman in a box now.
I used to just work a lot of hours, and I think,
That's what made it fall out.
yeah, of course.
No, it's
like,
not. It's genetic. You can't
It's
stop
not
it. can you?
genetic.
Of course it
Is
is.
your dad bald?
No, it's got more hair than me now, I think.
Is your mum?
Kojak's got more hair than you, Carl.
Anyway,
Don't have a go at Carl's hair, that's a bit harsh.
Oh, look at his little
what
face.
did it say before in that book about going bald? It said it had a little tip, didn't it? We'll go over them later.
Oh, it says if you're going thin, doesn't it say cut your hair short and something like
So
that
it
too?
makes you look thicker.
Well, I it's not so much a question, but it's something that I think might be of interest to you, Carl. I was reading about this in the paper, and I know how fascinated you are by people of the Japanese persuasion. Two elderly men found on a remote island are believed to be Japanese soldiers in hiding since 1945, desperate to go home. Diplomats from Tokyo are investigating the claims of these men, who are 87 and 83.
What? What are you thinking there?
Well, no, go on.
I know what you're thinking. Go on. Say what you're thinking.
It's good.
I'll be that old though.
Why? Why? Say why.
I don't want to. Just leave it.
Carl's
go
got
on.
a theory. Well, I mean, I don't think this is fine. I'd say that Carl's views don't reflect the views of XFM, right? Carl's got a theory that Oriental people don't age well.
Sure. Let Carl.
But that
offer
annoys me
theory.
the way. Yeah, but I think
What?
people probably agree with me. But for some reason, the first time I said that, I wasn't even worried about it. But now, because of the reaction of people,
What?
I don't understand. I don't know why I can't say that.
What's your theory? Explain your theory in a nutshell.
Just like you don't see you know, sort of a 33-year-old Chinese person. They're either. No, but at the same time,
What do you mean you don't
yeah,
see a
but I'm not
33-year-old
having a go.
Chinese
At the same time, you don't see that many fat ones either. So in a way, that's good news. Nobody would be upset about that.
But what do you mean
But
you don't
your
see
news isn't bad news because it's not
I
true.
hear
But
ya.
wait, stop. What do you mean you don't see a 33-year-old Chinese person? I don't understand. What do you mean you don't see them?
Coordinates
What do you
received.
see then?
Sort of, you know, young ones, and then
Roger that.
like
Firing on
you don't see
target.
that middle ground.
I don't know what this theory's based on.
So you see old ones and then you see
Yeah.
young ones, but you never see any in between.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So what's the oldest? What's the oldest Chinese person you've seen before the age of 33? How old do you think?
About 22.
22. So you've seen lots of 22-year-olds. So you've seen a range from babies to 22-year-old Chinese people. That's fact, okay? And then what gap do you miss out? When do they pop back up on the radar for you? What age is a Chinese person got to be older than that?
About 49.
It's always so specific. What do you mean when you say they don't age well? What do you mean they don't age well? You mean that middle-aged ones look old?
Because you think at 23, when it's 23, we're, happy birthday to you, and they look up, and oh jeez, it's 52. What do you mean?
No, I just mean they don't age that well. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what it is in them, but they just don't. All right then. Here's a question: You tell me of a Chinese person on the telly who's about 32.
Tell me of a Chinese person on the telly first. Give us the great gamut of Chinese talent currently on British TV, right? And I'll pick and choose. Go on then.
Bruce Lee?
How long has he been dead, Bruce Lee? 70s, wasn't it? And
Unbelievable.
not really on the telly much, was he? Okay.
What age was he when he died?
33, I think.
Well, I would have never guessed that.
Well, what do you think? How old do you think he was?
Probably about
Awaiting
42.
orders.
What, you know Burt Kwok?
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah. Do you remember the Pink Panther films?
Moving out.
No.
Okay. He wasn't that old in them because it was 60s, 70s.
But how old did he look, though? If he walked in and someone said, you never guess how old he is, what would you have said? Right then, there's my point then. There's my point.
Well, we were talking earlier about this. As this book, They Died Young,
Commander.
right? And there's all these theories about these people, like famous people that aren't really dead. And I remember speaking to someone about this, okay? And they said to me, Bruce Lee is not dead, right? They said he's not dead, right? And I said, well, how do you know? He's going, no, it was a whole big thing by the Hong Kong government, and he's actually working as an
Firing.
undercover cop in Hong Kong,
I
using his kung fu powers. Now,
No, apparently he faked his own death, Carl,
Yeah.
so that he could work undercover for the Hong Kong
Yeah.
police, infiltrating gangs, the triads, that sort of thing.
Now, my point is this. If you're going to use someone undercover in Hong Kong, right, you know, undercover cop, I suggest using the most famous Chinaman of all time. That would
that's
be...
a guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, when he's taking away a gang, they're going, you look a bit like Bruce Lee. He's going, no, I don't know. See this moustache?
It's a bit wonky.
Well, it's, just take my word for it. I'm not Bruce Lee, all right? Well, all that stuff you did when you were punching us and kicking us and chopping, yes. But, I'm not.
It does look a bit like the stuff in my film, in his films.
In his films, yeah.
But it's not.
It does
it's just
not.
coincidence.
No, yeah.
The thing is, though, I'm not sounding bad here, not trying to offend anyone, but they do all look the
Right.
same.
They do
Okay.
all look...
No.
No, no, you know, we're having a serious chat.
Right.
I'm not, you know, I'm not here to upset anyone.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, over here,
I'm so sorry.
no, I'm not. Yeah, but you know me. I'm not out to upset
Right.
anyone.
Right.
You're not a racialist?
No.
What
So-
do you mean? Are you saying
What I'm
Orient people
saying is-
all look alike?
Well, look at the people over here, right?
Yeah.
With like you've got ginger
this-
people. You've got people with black hair. You've got people who are fat. People who are thin. But they're all so sort of fit, which isn't a bad thing. They all do that sort of thing in the park. They're all fit. It's a place where black hair. I mean, when they come here, they take pictures of people with ginger hair, don't they? Because we don't get them
That
over there.
shot went internal.
That's what I'm saying. So calm down. Please.
So you're saying that Bruce Lee, the most famous Chinese movie star of all
They
time...
can't tell them apart.
Other triad members would... How are they going about the business at all? I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, how
tell
would they even realise that was the guy?
What do they have to do? Wear numbers in, you know, because there's a billion
No, but
of them.
when you know them, then you know.
So what? Oh, I see. They can tell each other apart, can they? Well, they got signals. This is amazing, isn't
That's
it?
how he got away with it.
Simon, which one are you? Just raise your hand, Simon. Yep. Chang, which one's Chang? Chang, good. Yeah.
Oh, it must be murder, mustn't it?
Target is confirmed.
Just
That can be the only-
people going into the wrong houses all the time, getting off with their mates' wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare, then.
It must be a nightmare.
That's a kill.
Please don't complain. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm really sorry to anyone that's... he honestly does not know what he's saying. XFM 104.9.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
I don't
Aye,
think
aye.
I am offending anyone.
Okay. Fine, that's all right then.
And you know that I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know you don't.
If I
I know.
swore
Oh, I
on the
know.
radio, I said, right, if you've got
One
kids
for
in
the
the car,
scrap.
turn your radio down.
So before you make any potentially racist remarks, just point out if you are listening and you might be Oriental. Please don't take offence.
Or go... Oh.
You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
go on then. So
This
what
should be
was this other
good.
dead person?
Can't play a record. Ricky's having a heart.
Sort of madness, but I think we've got to calm down here. We're a bit naughty there. We've said, you know, bloke with two dicks. We said Chinese people don't talk properly, which is a little bit...
Offensive.
Yeah. Know what I mean, Carl?
Well, they don't though.
Right, okay, let's leave it now.
Okay, stop there, Carl. Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of XFM or any
Yeah.
other human being.
If you think that me and Steve have been being offensive, we are strongly behind the guise of irony, satire, and ignorance. Carl only has ignorance and hate.
Yes.
No, but as long as you say something good about someone, you can also say something bad about
Go
them.
on, then.
does that work?
Go on, then, give us an example.
Well, Chinese,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Great people, right?
Good.
Really,
that's
the
the good bit.
women really good looking as younger people.
No!
They
What
get
are you
older.
doing?
I'm just saying, as long as you know what I mean, there's good and bad and everything.
For every
Well, what are the
positive
old
and
ones
negative.
like?
They don't age well.
What do you mean?
The fella in Karate Kid, the teacher, was only about 36.
We started this! We started this!
Oh. It's a phrase that might have once been uttered on this show.
It was said last week.
Oh, right.
Alright, okay, brilliant.
Alright, here you go.
I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21.
Yes,
Right, I
Right,
just can't hear
right,
it.
I know what that is. That's ridiculous.
What was
Right?
it?
What it is it's something like, right, you're only 16, but you look 26, and the Chinese look older than they are or something, because he said that. The Chinese don't age well. That is mental, Carl. It's the most convoluted, ridiculous, racist piece of material ever to be uttered on radio.
Play it again.
awaiting
know
orders.
you're just 16, but looking all of 21.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, you're just 16 and looking all 21. That's because the Chinese look older. Carl, you've gone mental.
Alright.
Oh, that is amazing. So, there you go, the well-known phrase, you're 16, looking all of 21, that's because the Chinese look older. Well-known phrase there, sweeping the nation. That'll be up there with "was up" and "shut that door." If they do a poll, right.
Okay, Black, well, we're after the artists.
Just the artist.
Yeah.
I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21.
Full throttle.
You know what I don't get with it?
Go on.
Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown, because I always walk through it on the way to work. A couple of things annoy me. First of all, I think it's bad business, just because if you've got a Chinese restaurant, put it somewhere where there isn't any others.
It's a good point.
Yeah, but it's also a community. They're not just a theme park for other people.
I remember going out one night with Suzanne and some friends, and you got there and there's so much choice. It's that dilemma of, oh, forget it.
Well,
And
not
we went
really.
somewhere else.
Specifically, do you fancy Chinese?
Well, no, but
No,
why don't you go to the one with the dead ducks hanging in the window? That's
Well,
my
that's the
favourite.
other thing as well. It's like, normally you put your good stuff in the window. If that's what's in the window. Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing that annoys me, walking through it today, there's always lard on the floor.
What, in the street?
In the streets.
It is, honestly. I'm scared I'm going to slip over. It's because all the restaurants and that. But why is it? Oh, that's another point.
Well, it's not oozing out of the restaurants.
No, but why is it? Why is
I
it?
don't know what they do.
Careful. Listen, no, but why is
That's why they used to wear those little wooden tubes.
On you, Commander.
it? No, okay, we've
No,
got...
but the thing is as well, they try and wash it with water, which doesn't work with lard, and it's like oil.
Famously, yeah.
You know what I mean? Even I know that.
Yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
scrub it.
So,
You think so?
sorted that out.
I'm very jealous of your trip here, Carl, to the mighty Great Wall of China.
Well, you say that, but how come I'm going and you're not doing any?
Well, because we're executive producers.
Yeah, we're busy. We've got other stuff going on.
See, out of all the places, this is the place that I'm worried about the most.
Why?
Just the way they live, they're different.
What, Chinese people?
They just wreck everything. They make everything weird. That's what I'm worried about.
Expand
you?
on this. I don't
To
understand
you?
what you mean.
Everything. Chicken. Why is it orange in Chinatown? Just the slightest thing. The chicken is orange. They eat anything.
Commander.
You know what I mean? Octopus. Toad.
He just made that one up!
No, say if I go over there, I have a bit of toad. I go, do you know what? It's quite nice that, it's nicer than chicken.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty tough to get a bit of grilled toad in this country. It could make me sort of wish for stuff that I can no longer get hold of.
Have you been listening to what he's been saying there?
Yeah.
That he's scared to go to China in case he gets a taste for toad.
And then
when
comes back and he
here,
can't get toad.
So I just wanted to check that you heard that.
Yeah.
The way they write, the letters are weird. Their alphabet's not like ours. Theirs are like someone testing out a biro. Everything's... there's no logic to anything that they do.
There is.
Isn't.
Of course there's a logic to it.
The way they read a book, it's all the other way round, from back to front instead of from front to back and up and down. And everything that we've done, they've gone, right, we're going to do it weirder. That's how it comes across.
Well, some would say that they did it first. Their civilization beat ours by many hundreds of years. But anyway. Right. Off you go.
Location.
What did they do here? Did they just pull up the pants and walk off? Is that what you do? I'm not here to say they should be using toilet paper. It's not right. If that's not what they do, that's not what they do. But it's just, I didn't know that. I didn't think China was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be more... Like I said, I thought it was where they'd made the iPod. I think I've got the wrong place, because this ain't a place where they need an iPod. Have a toilet roll first. I mean, it's weird, because whenever you buy stuff like that, toilet roll holders and stuff, it says made in China. Why aren't they fucking using them then? That's odd, isn't it? So he's got to leave the house and he's got to go, do I feel like one today? I might do. I've had a bit of a dicky belly. I best get my seat. Everyone who's walking past knows he's going to have a shit at some point today. I wouldn't like that. Do you know, like how when I go into a public toilet, you like to nip in with a coin and open the door?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, well, you couldn't do that here because there's no doors on the toilets. They were filming some stuff like on this street, just with like traffic and stuff. I said, I'm just nipping in here. Walked in, was greeted by two fellas squatting. There were chefs from the place on the corner, so that's reassuring.
Oh, no.
Honest to God, one of them was on the phone taking an order. It was really... I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I could ever get used to that. You need to have your own space when doing that, and they're just there. One's on the phone, the other one's just sort of looking round.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what people watching Sky are going to do with the information Chinese people have a shit with no door while taking an order for food.
Well, he looked like he was sort of saying, I'll have it ready in like about 5 minutes. Oh no, give me 10. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm never going to order a number 2, I'll tell you that.
Or a king poo chicken. Sainsbury's bag full of toads. He rips them out, cuts their head off, sticks them in another bin bag. I don't even know what that is. I mean, it looks like a load of condoms in jam and water or something. I mean, it's weird how he's got it sat there as if that's meant to tempt you in. This looks like they've got custard creams on a stick as well at the end. Just anything on a stick, whatever you want on a stick. I just don't understand why they're eating all this. I mean, at home, restaurants would get closed down for having a cockroach in the kitchen. Yeah, here is a starter. I didn't know it'd be like this. I didn't think it'd be this mental, really, in the food department. There's a woman over there just tucking in on a bunch of scorpions. Look at her, like she's just having like a bit of a chicken leg. Not a problem, just shoving them in her face. She looks at it before she puts it in her mouth, like, oh yeah, which bit will they have first? The head or the arse? I mean, as she's eating one off one stick, she's looking at the other stick. She can't get enough of them. Her eyes, it's like the donuts to her. She's looking at them, she's going, oh, look at that one there, that one looks nice. You see, I don't know where it stops. Where's the line between food and insect? She gets up in the morning, there's a spider in the bath. What does she do? Oh good, I'll leave the class on for tomorrow. I'll eat that now. What's he eating?
Location acknowledged.
Oh God. What sort of egg is that?
It's a fetus inside an egg.
A fetus? I don't know what any. Just for people watching who don't know, he's with us, you know, helping drive the bus and what have you. He seems like a normal bloke. I mean, eating a fetus. Not even waiting for the thing to be born and to live a bit and then eat it. I mean, a fetus. Only been here for a bit. I'm running out of these. I've got 3 more packets left. Well, you know, the weird thing is, I'm the freak here, aren't I? Everyone else is eating that. I'm eating these. I'm the odd one.
Reporting major armor loss.
Carl. Yeah.
Carl.
Carl.
Carla.
Carl.
Waiting for orders.
Not Carla. Just Carl. Carl.
Oh, Carl. Yeah.
Carl.
Carl.
对对对
Carl.
，Carlo。
No.
Ah.
No.
Ah.
No.
Carl.
You
No.
betcha.
Carl.
Carlo。
You don't need to add.
Like this, your country, the 莎士比亚。
莎士比亚，你们说莎士比亚？
莎士比亚。
Shakespeare.
哎
Hamlet。
，Chinese 莎士比亚。
Shakespeare. Shakespeare.
对对，莎
Shakespeare.
士
Hamlet。
比亚。
It's just breaking it up a little bit.
对对对对，
Carl.
真正好了。
I'm Carl.
卡尔。
It's not Carl. It's Carl. Boy. Right, that's hot now. That's mental. Right, that's hot. That's hot. Elle, what is she doing? What is she doing? I've seen massages on the telly. You don't normally have to have a fire extinguisher on standby when you're having a massage. What is this doing?
Traditional Chinese massage.
But what? Why? Tell me why though. Why is this traditional Chinese massage?
I think it relaxes.
No, it doesn't relax me. So what does it do? Why is she setting fire to me? What good is it doing me? Don't just stand there saying it's traditional. It's traditional. It's what they do here. It's a delicacy. What is she doing? When have gloves on fire ever been associated with having a massage? Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. I might as well have walked in there. I've been greeted by Edward Scissorhands. Right, I felt that. Put it out. Put it out, please. It's not a good sort of combination, that, really. Having something done like that with a woman who can't understand me. This leg's fine, tell her. This leg is great. I just want this one doing, then we can go. That's hot now. Maybe she's just a frustrated magician or something. Couldn't get a gig doing magic. Ends up doing back rubs and just come up with an idea of having gloves that are on fire. I'd scream my head off, didn't I? Because it was... And I'm not messing either for the cameras, because I don't really do that. It really hurt. What was that bleeping sound? Fire alarm. Stuck on here with a daft hat on, not understanding what's going on. I mean, this woman's friendly enough, but she's
Good to
she's
go.
sort of blanking me now.
Orders.
到好汉坡那儿呢，照一张相登上了长城那么长城呢
Yeah, the fellow behind me is coughing his guts up. I thought I was putting on a waterproof coat in case it rained. I need it just for on this bus. Why did they do that?
Engaging with target.
Here's the wall. I can't see it now anyway, so it'll be a surprise for me. How long does it take to get there?
Yes, Commander.
Stored in both the 1950s and 1980s.
Confirmed.
I didn't know that. Not even old bricks. Am I missing something here? So the old stuff's gone, hasn't it, really? But then it doesn't count. It shouldn't be a wonder then. You can't just build something on it and still get all the tourists in when it's not what it says on the tin. What I'm looking at is basically a... Bears in here? What's this all about,
Out
though?
of LRM.
It's almost like they know that the wall isn't that good. It's like, what else can we give them? We've charged them like £7 to get in to see an old wall. Well, it's not an old wall, it's from the 1980s. I've got a mate who's got some bears. Stick them down at the bottom. They are. I'm getting stood up. Evolution.
Ready?
The driver's getting involved, chucking it food, because he's not into apple, is he? I've seen what he likes eating. If that was some sort of squid with a tumour on its head, he'd be tucking into it. He's not into fruit. To be honest, I fancy getting in there and getting a mouthful. It's the first normal food I've seen. You know that? This isn't the Great Wall, is it? You're kidding me. I mean, I like the way there's no tourists and that. But then why would they be? This is the original wall, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know, is it just badly done? This is pretty shit, isn't it? You're meant to be able to see it from the moon, aren't you, the Great Wall? Would you want to? Neil Armstrong getting his binoculars out. Okay, no, have you seen it from up here, Buzz?
All weapons committed.
Being honest with you, it's not the Great Wall. It's an alright wall. It's the alright wall of China.
We're thinking of going on holiday,
Me and my husband, Stephen.
Well, what are you thinking?
China.
China?
China.
No, I'm not bothered with that. Where have you been in the past?
Well, we've been to Wales and we don't really understand the language.
What they're saying?
Don't know what they're saying at all.
Oh, forget China then.
Oh.
They're worse than the Welsh with their language. It's mental. There's no order to it whatsoever. It's mental language. It's like aliens. So you don't want to go there. Have you thought of anywhere else?
Hang on, you're supposed to be selling us a holiday to China.
No, I'm not selling you. I've just got to sell you a holiday. So I'd say you don't want to go there.
Okay.
How old are you?
Oh, well, I'm 72.
Right, well, you don't
23.
To be quite honest, I thought it'd be a bit more virile. Even though he's 23, his penis is actually 102. Why did he have that put on? Why did he have it put on?
Is this any use?
Awaiting order.
Well, last time I came here, when I saw the Great Wall, didn't really enjoy it, did I?
Moving out.
And I got back and I sort of said to a mate where I'd been, and he told me about this place. And I was gutted. I never came here. All this way. Never saw it. So it's weird in a way that I've had a second chance. It was like it was meant to be. I think it's in keeping with what we've been doing. Travel programme, showing you the world, how others live, little communities and all that. Right. This is it. It's Dwarf Village. It's like this little town that they set up. Dwarves used to get a hard time or something in China, so they set this up, a place where they live and work. They've made it for themselves. Everything they want, it's made for being a dwarf. It's ideal. Well, they're all happy. Yeah. Look at the skill of this. I'm doing a little bit of woodwork. Looks amazing. I mean, that's not crap, is it? He's done it all. It's all sort of miniature, look. It's really cosy. And to him, it's massive, isn't it? You can show me around one of your houses.
Ouch.
I haven't been in one of these.
Firing.
Just slow down a little bit. Just hang on a minute. Just hang on. No, you're not meant to laugh.
Too small for you.
Yeah, I am looking for something a bit bigger. Am I the biggest man who's ever been in it? It's good, isn't it?
Too small.
Do you know any dwarfs?
Yeah. I know one. I know a little dwarf. He's a mate of Ricky's. I don't know what he'd think of this. He's always playing roles as, like, elves and Santa's little helper and all that. So at the end of the day, what's the difference? At least here, they work every day. 2 p.m, showing 7 days a week. Dwarfs at home. They're busy at Christmas. What else are they doing for the rest of the year? There he is. Sat on a shelf. His name's Warwick. Any film with a dwarf in it, he's it.
Hello?
Is that Warwick?
Engaging
Yeah.
target.
Hey, it's Carl. Ricky's mate.
Oh yeah, alright. Yeah, what are you up to?
I'm just in China. I'm looking at a dwarf village and I wanted to run the whole sort of concept by you because I know that people at home get a bit funny about, oh, you shouldn't be, having a little dwarf village and all that. And it's really good. The people in there are dead happy. Nice little show they put on. Just thought, it sort of covers me if I speak to you and say, I'm at a dwarf village and you go, yeah, I've heard of that. It's nice. Good on you.
No, well, I have heard of it definitely, but I don't think it's nice.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's like going back to the days of the freak show again, isn't it, really? I mean, they're all in there together, and you're going in there to gorp at them, basically.
Well, yeah, I did. And, there is, like, little blokes in little funny outfits and all that, and you do sort of smile. But they're smiling. I think it's all right, isn't it?
Standing by.
I think it's terrible, Carl. I can't believe it. You don't know who's behind the scenes running that. Did you meet them?
Yeah, there's a king.
And is he little?
Of course he is.
That might be a show king. There might be a...
No, he was the head... No, he was the head man. He was at the top, he had a little cloak on and a crown, shades on. You could tell he was in charge.
What's happening out in China, it's segregation, it's exploitation, seriously.
recording.
It's not.
Seriously,
You see, you haven't been. This is what annoys me with people who... I'm in the thick of it here. I'm stood by their houses. They're all happy. There's a woman who I met who's a little dwarf. She's only been here 4 months. She's already got her own mushroom to live in. Now, you tell me that's wrong.
I'm just a bit disappointed in you, to be honest.
Hang on a minute, you're being all on your high horse and that. The picture that I shown of you on the telly so people knew you were sat on a shelf.
Yeah, well, it doesn't change my opinion, to be honest. I was doing something that was important, what I was doing there, anyway.
So, if all your work dries up, they're not making another Star Wars, you can't dress up as a little monkey, you've got no money coming in, you wouldn't think about coming here then?
Definitely not.
Where did you go, Carl? What was the story?
It was my birthday, right? Went home after working with you a couple of Saturdays ago, right? Girlfriend was like, open your card, and I said, no, it's my birthday on Monday, I'll open it then.
You obey by the rules, don't you, of birthdays? The birthday rules.
Well, there's no point.
Well, exactly, chaos leads that way.
Yeah, right, so...
Not an anarchist, never has been.
So anyway, she was kept going on, and it was doing me head in, so I said, all right, I'll open it.
Yeah.
So I opened it, ticket fell out. Surprise holiday to one of the Canary Islands. So...
And what was your reaction? I mean...
First one was we haven't got enough money for this, but I didn't want to ruin it, so so I didn't go on about that, and I said, oh, it'd be great, so I can't wait. So,
did you say it in that tone of voice?
Well, it was good timing because I was tired and everything, and I'm not a big holiday fan, but the timing was right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same as last night. I don't always like a curry, but last night...
You're in the mood.
You get that sort of, oh, yeah.
Curry, you had a feeling.
Yeah,
you thought, and then lo and behold, like, you were eating the curry. It's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird, the paranormal? Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird?
They work in mysterious ways, ghosts.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, the island, if I was on with you here, I'd probably say it's a bit barren.
Okay.
Not much there, but if you get a hotel, you're guaranteed good weather. Right.
Are you?
No, what I mean is, it'll be a good holiday. If you get a hotel, right, the weather's always good, so you'll have a nice time.
Yeah, it was a comma, yeah, it was a, go on.
And all that, and the food was all right, and everything was going all right. I was just having a nice, relaxing time.
And how do you sort of spend your time on a holiday? You just lie around? Is
that sort of holiday, just lying around.
Yeah.
I bought a book.
You bought a book?
Yeah.
Okay, ghosts?
No, it was short stories, right? It was
About
like
ghosts?
no, it was about like special days in our time and time before me and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was like it was telling you about how I think it was 1814, the Thames frozen up.
Yeah.
And all these stories are told by eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Right. So there's some fella who was around in 1814, and the Thames was frozen, and people used to put market stalls on there.
Yeah.
And they'd do the shopping. It was like an Oxford Street.
Was that Mad Liar Charlie? No, because he's famous for that.
Well, I'm sure, you know.
No, I think that was Mad Liar Charlie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was reading that, and then after a couple of days was a bit like, oh,
boring.
Yeah, you can only do sort of so much lying around
and so much reading.
So Suzanne said, let's go on the beach, have a walk.
You ain't gone on the beach?
Where had you been up to this point then? In your room?
No, just like round the pool, just relaxing and having a swim and that.
Yeah.
So she said, let's go on the beach. I said, all right then, yeah. So wandered down to the beach, and first impressions are, yeah, it's all right, it's clean.
Your criteria is so basic, it's weird.
Right.
Hotel, yes. Roof, good. Food, adequate. Beach, clean. Next.
So I'm walking along, and everything's good, and you know, there's a woman feeding fish bread, which I thought that's different.
Originality. He loves a bit of originality.
He was feeding fish bread.
This woman was there, like up to her knees in water.
Yeah.
And she was stood
Was
there.
that a sea?
Chucking,
Oh, right, good.
chucking this bread, and I thought, what's she doing? And I stood there and watched for a minute, and there was little fish coming up, having the bread. I thought, oh. So we carried on walking, and everything's going well. And then this fella comes towards me.
Everything's going well.
Yeah, that's
I haven't
original.
fallen over.
Clean feeding bread. 2 points for originality.
Well,
Good, yeah.
Fella comes walking towards me.
Oi, oi.
He's only got no pants on.
Oh.
So I said, Suzanne, what's going on?
Why did he turn to her? Like she knows more
So
than
she
him.
she said, oh yeah, it's she said, yeah, it's a nudity.
Is this going to be a long story? Can you pour that coffee? Can you give me that coffee over? Sorry, this is really bad. Yeah, because he's pouring.
Thank you.
Just amuse yourselves while we talk the coffee.
Thank you very much.
Do you want
I'll have a cup of coffee, Carl.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah. Cheers.
Cold. Right, good. Okay.
So,
Great. Thank you.
so she said, yeah, it's a nudist beach. So I said, well, why, what? I said, we're all it's all mixed up. Normally on a nudist beach, it's a nudist beach, and you don't go wandering on there when you get your clothes on and that. So it annoyed me a bit, because there wasn't any signs. So this fella's getting closer.
Well, the knob out was a sign.
Yeah. Right, so he's getting closer. And he walked past me. It was an old fella. And he walked past and he had a hat on and a little pipe. And a big rucksack on his back. Right, so it got me thinking.
Not strictly naked.
I'm walking along and I'm thinking, right, why do people want to do this? So straight away, I wasn't on holiday anymore, because most of the time when I'm on holiday, I don't think about anything. Right?
Your mind's a blank.
I just switch off. Right? But all of a sudden, this has got in my head now, and I turn around to look at him, and
check out his arse.
And this bag, right, I swear, it was massive, right?
What? You had a massive bag?
The bag.
His rucksack?
His rucksack.
Oh, right, okay. Because when he said there was an old couple coming towards me, I said, what was lower, the bloke's bollocks or the woman's tits? And he said, well, that was another point. She might as well have worn knickers. Because he said, I was so naked. That's what he said to me.
So you saw the bag?
So it annoyed me, yeah, because the whole idea in it, this is what I think, I mean, I might be wrong, right? Might be wrong.
Chances you never have been. You never have been before.
Being nudist, right? What's it all about?
Well, no, I wanted you to tell Steve about your holiday, because you told me in the week things. Go on.
Steve, I mean, bad idea. I had a feeling anyway about going away with, like, Suzanne's mum and dad, because I've never been into sort of family holidays anyway, right? Even when you see it, whenever I've been on holiday and you see like families on planes and that, and they're all having a laugh and a joke, loving it, and then on the plane going back you can see that they've gone off into groups, and like, you know, the dad isn't talking to the daughter and all that business. So I thought, asking for trouble, but you know, I do everything once. Do you know what I mean? Boxing, dancing, going on holiday with parents and that. Give it a go, see how it goes, right? So
not your A-levels, but fair enough.
It started off. It started off bad, didn't it? Because last week I told you that you know, our dad called us up and said, you know, I want to take some tea bags with us to Madeira.
Yeah.
What's the best way of packing them?
Yeah.
Right. So I knew there was going to be problems like that, because the thing with Suzanne's family, right? They like having a routine. They know what they're doing every day. They know what they're having for tea every day. It's the same thing every week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought this is going to be interesting, this, because they can't do what they normally do.
Sure.
I love it. I love you treating it like an experiment.
Yeah. Right.
Just watching them all the time.
So the first problem was they'd never flown before. So I was winding them up a bit. Saying, it's murder. It's really horrible. You know, plane goes all over the place. And a mum had done some research saying, well, I've been reading about it, and
what, she got a funny accent?
More people, there's more chance of me being killed on a donkey than there is on a plane. So I upset her. I said, right, when we get
to
there,
Spain.
I said, when we get there, let's see if there's any donkeys on the beach.
Yeah.
Right? And she didn't like that. So.
Oh, what? To joke about you hoping she died?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up with her?
Right. So we get there, and you know, they see the villa and that. They're quite happy with all that business, right? And all that stuff. And then as time went on, I was getting a bit sort of fed up with them being around us all the time, because I think you should have your own time when you go on holiday with the family. You should say, right, you go off and do your thing.
Yeah.
We'll do our thing, and we'll meet up later and talk about what we've been doing and stuff. Anyway, so it gets to like the Thursday. We've been away since Monday, right? And said, right, we're going out tonight. So our mum says, yeah, we'll come with you. I said, no, it's just us. We're having a bit of time on our own, right?
Is it true you said to her, you told me this, you said to her, you started to annoy me, I want some time on my own?
Well, I just said, well, I told her at the start, I said, it's going to be interesting, this, because people annoy me when they're around me a lot.
Sure.
So I wasn't nasty to her, I just was saying people, not her.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you're going to get on my nerves. So,
you hailed a donkey for
her. So, no, but seriously, right, with the flying, do you know those stockings that you can get because of deep vein thrombosis?
Sure.
She had them on in the cab.
Brilliant.
And it's only a 2-hour flight as well, so that was annoying me. Right, so anyway, it gets to this, you know, the Thursday night when I'm going out with Suzanne, and her mum's like sat on the sun lounger outside, so where are we going tonight? I said, no, like I said, it's just us. We're going out having a bit of time to ourselves. So I could see as the day was getting on, she was realising that she's got a night in with like her husband, right? Her face started to like look miserable.
Sure.
I thought, I'm loving this. Right? So I said, right, I'm going in to go and have a shower, go and get ready for the tonight. It's going to be great.
And wind them up, wind them up because they can't come, because he said they can't.
Right, so I go upstairs, have a shower and that. I come down, and a mum's smiling.
Oh, hang on.
So I'm thinking, hang on a minute, what's gone on here? So I went to Suzanne, I said, why's your mum smiling? She's not coming. She said, no, but my dad said he'll take her out now. So in a way, she was happy because she'd got her own way, which had annoyed me.
That annoyed you, sure, because you wanted to...
Like,
What, you don't even want her husband taking her out?
Well, it's just the fact she didn't want to go out. She was happy to stay in and have sausage, egg and chips that they'd found from some shop that sold English food.
Right.
So that's almost like what they do if they're at home.
Sausage, egg and chips.
So she was happy with that if we were staying in and having that, but because we were going out, she was fed up. Right. So she's smiling. So she's going, yeah, I'm going out now. So I said, well, enjoy yourself. She said, where are you going? I said, well, it doesn't matter, does it? You don't need to know.
Sure,
you're not going to where we're going. Oh, you just don't want us to be in the same restaurant. I said, yeah, that's right. I said, I want a night out on my own with Suzanne. It's our holiday as well.
I don't know, I can talk to you about this.
This is not even his own parents. This is someone else's parents. These are the parents of the woman he loves.
But even Suzanne sort of agreed with me. There's only so much time you can spend with your parents. That's why you leave. That's why when you're ill, you don't go home to them. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah. Of course, the slight difference between me and you, Carl, is like, not everyone in the world annoys me.
Well, not everyone does, just...
I can see what... I felt a bit guilty that week when he said I was annoying him, but I realise it's not my fault now.
No, everyone annoys him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was an alright holiday. It was good to get back.
Brilliant.
Won't be doing it again.
No. On my way. And what now would you say is your relationship with Suzanne's parents? Is it a frosty one?
No, I just think they know that I don't like to put up with them for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were packing, a man was upset because, like, she really liked the place where we were staying, right? Because it was quite a big villa, because there was a few of us. There was a brother as well with us, right? Yeah. So, our mum said, oh, I love it here. She said, I'm definitely going to book this place again. I said, it's a bit, you know, a bit big for two of you, isn't it?
Just being sarky, like, we're definitely...
I said, because, you know, I won't be coming again.
You're like, I don't know what you're like, Carl. You're a monster. You're an absolute
You're one of the people that
monster.
goes, I says that speakers are fine, I says that, and gibbered what the wibble.
Yeah.
And never the way will slap.
You're like a middle-aged man. You're like an old man. You're like an old man, and you're what, 30?
I'm just imagining you scraping along in clogs and a flat cap going, oh, that tree's got to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puncturing a kid's ball if he kicks it into your garden by mistake.
Yeah.
Refusing to give it back.
Yeah, gather round. Yeah, there were once Chinese kid as hairy as that cow, which is weird because there's not many Chinese people that are hairy, but this one, I tell them. You went to Lanzarote. People said don't go to Lanzarote. They told you it was Lanzarote. They told you were they right or wrong?
They were right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit ropey, yeah.
Is it? Why?
Just out there. If it wasn't for the volcano they had, they'd be knackered.
That's their big draw, is it?
That's it, basically. That's all they've got going for them.
When you landed, was it really hot? Initially, were you quite excited? You were thinking this is okay?
It was warm. It's, you know, we can't complain about the weather. The weather was all right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what I went for. But it'd be nice if there just was something else.
Yeah.
What did you do all day then? Did you read your ritual book?
No, I didn't read that. I read that book. Do you know the book that I bought and all the chapters were messed up?
Oh yeah.
I bought a better version of that.
All right.
And I read that.
Excellent.
And then
did it make more sense in order?
Yeah, a lot easier to follow.
Yeah.
And then we went and had a look at the volcanoes and that. They've got 36 of them to look at.
How many did you look at before you realised that you know, pretty much, you've seen one volcano, you've seen them all?
Probably about 6 or 7.
Really? And then when you got to the 8th, you thought, no, I know what this is going to be, Suzanne. This is going to be like a mountain with a hole in the top.
Yeah.
Really?
But it happened years ago as well. It's like, just keep a couple, fill the rest in, tidy it up.
Fill the rest in!
Yeah, no,
Well,
yeah.
getting some builders.
No, seriously though.
Okay, 4 million tons of concrete, please.
They're an absolute death trap.
Yeah, yeah. What do you mean fill them in? Do you know what a volcano is?
Just a hole, isn't it? That's happened.
Well, it's more than the
happened back
hole. It's
in-
more a portal to the magma in the centre of the Earth.
Back in 1730 it happened, and they still haven't sorted it out.
Well, when you say it happened, volcanoes were made a lot longer ago
No,
than 1730.
no, but the one that did Lanzarote in.
Right.
Sort it out.
What would you suggest? How
tidy
can
it
they
up.
fill it in? It's joined. It's all joined.
No, but what I'm
and
saying is, it was
the big plates of the Earth are all joined.
it
All
was
the
a disaster,
magma's
wasn't it?
joined.
With the trade centre thing, that happened. They cleaned it up, sorted it out, they've moved on. That's what I'm saying. Whereas Lanzarote have just gone, leave it. It happened back in 1730.
You misunderstand me. How, in the name of God, can you fill in a volcano? You ignorant twit.
No, but it's not just the holes. They've actually left the lava everywhere. That's what I mean. It's not just the big holes. There's lava everywhere.
But it's molten rock. They can't just pick it up like they're like a carpet.
Put it in the holes. The holes are there ready. Just push it all in. That's what I'm saying.
So, what exactly is there then? Is it just a kind of moon-like kind of surround with just kind of dust and rocks?
That's exactly. You see, I was there when the Mars thing went wrong.
Yeah.
I would have just sent a camera crew there, filmed a bit of that, right, and say, here we are. This is it. Ignore the little coffee shop in the background. Right? This is Mars, because that's where it's like just loads of dust.
Yeah.
Holes everywhere. Tidy it up.
Little round-headed aliens complaining.
Yeah.
It's just like Mars.
Yeah.
So, is there any? What's the best bit about the holiday? Come on, pretend you're Judith Chalmers.
I have been doing. I would have done all that. I would have said that. Don't bother.
Right.
I mean, the hotel was good.
Yeah.
That was all right.
What was that like?
It's all right. Just, clean. That's all you want, isn't it?
See, that's not quite what Judith Chalmers does. She doesn't go, what's the hotel like? All right, yeah, clean, isn't it? All right. But what was it like? What was it? 3-star, 4-star? Did it have a swimming pool? What was the room like?
I had a swimming pool and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I think it was one of the better ones on the island.
Okay.
Nightlife?
Wasn't
bars?
really any. There was a bar, there was some bands playing.
Yeah.
Not very good. Food got a bit boring.
Yeah.
It was always the same food every night, but they sort of themed it and made out as if it was different. So like, on Mexican night, it'd be chicken with a nacho on it.
Right.
And Chinese night, sort of chicken with a little prawn cracker on it and stuff.
Sure.
But that got a bit boring.
That's me just turning on my phone, because I want to read to you a text that I got from Carl. I think you sort of sum up the holiday in this text, don't you? Do you remember it?
I can't remember.
Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Let's go
Instantly,
through
what did Suzanne, your girlfriend, make of it? Similar view to you, that they should fill in the holes?
Yeah, it's just that thing, you see, I went on a coach trip, right, and you go and see the volcanoes. Like I said, there's 36 of them.
Yeah.
Which, how many do you need? And when we're on the coach going round all these volcanoes, the fella on the front's going and look out your left window at the moment, and there's a volcano. And if you quickly look out at the right-hand side there, there's another one.
Right.
And on the left, it's just like, all right, we've seen it.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that trip, I mean, we'll talk about that trip in a bit.
Right, this is the text I got from Carl, right? Alright. Been up to a volcano. Been in some dead artist's house who built his house in the lava. They said they would show me science with volcanoes, but all they did was chuck some water in a hole and it shot up in the air. No dwarves in the canteen, no scousers here, but there is a Swede woman with a big head. She looks effing gormless with a cap on.
Good to go.
Alright? So a little reference there to...
A Swede woman?
What's that mean? Do you mean Swedish?
Yeah.
Or she looked like a vegetable?
A Swedish woman. But they've all got sort of quite big built, aren't they?
And I sent him a text. Oh, well, it's good to be on holiday because, I'm working. He sent back, so am I. just been watching Sky News. There is a school for monkeys who want to get a band together.
Is that monkeys related?
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant and little Carl Pilkington. But it was a nice holiday.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just, you know, I went there to relax and that.
Exactly.
Did a little bit of that. Trying to think of some new, you know, features and stuff.
Sure, always working, always working. 3 holidays a year, Jesus.
Oh, well, not really 3. Oh, 2.
It's all
Two holidays, really.
one big sort of like work thing to me and Steve.
2 holidays, isn't it?
Oh.
Work hard, you need the holidays. So, yeah, the things that annoyed me was like, you get bored sat around the pool after a couple of days. I'd read my book.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't much going on the
Not even any
complex.
crabs to throw sand at, was
No
there?
crabs or anything. They wouldn't bother with Lanzarote, right? So, decided to go on a little trip. That's when I saw the volcanoes and that, 36 of them. So, we go on the trip, and the thing that annoys me, it does happen every holiday that you go on. If you go on a sort of package thing, you have these trips, right? And you pay about 40 odd quid, and they give you some wine, to sort of make it feel like you're getting your money's worth. But
how many of these trips have you been on then? Loads.
Probably about 12.
More holidays than I've had. Go on.
I'll.
Yeah,
So
go
anyway, so you're on the coach, right? And they take you for the volcanoes. They took us in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing else round there.
Sure.
It's like I say, it's like Mars, but with holes in the ground.
Yeah.
Right. And you sort of drop you off, and they go, right, everybody, see you back here in an hour. There's loads of volcanoes for you to look at, and a coffee shop over there. And you know for a fact, right, you don't need an hour there. You could just say, well, just keep the engine running, because I'll have a look in this hole, we'll get back on, give us 5 minutes. Right? Don't need an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know that they've got something going
It's a
with the-
backhander, definitely.
What, with the coffee shop?
Definitely, yeah. They go there and they get everyone to have an ice cream and a coffee, and they sit down and have a fag talking to the bloke. Yeah, and it's like cousin. Yeah.
How much was the coffee? Was it
Probably
overpriced?
about 3 each euros. So I think it was 3.50.
Sure. Yeah,
Which is, I don't know, what, that's about 2.5 quid.
Yeah, they stitched you up. Well, I remember we were on it was a family trip to France once. We went to Paris. We got a coach coming back from Paris to one of the ferries, one of the ports, Calais or wherever it was. Coach trip. It was quite a long coach trip. And at one point we were thinking, we're on the motorway, this is fine, we're making good progress. Suddenly we came off the motorway. We must have gone like 40 minutes out of our way, end up in this street completely empty, little French town. And it's parked outside this, what appears to be a restaurant, and a guy jumps on, dressed like a Butlins red coat. He's French, but he's putting on a kind of English accent. He goes, hello, oh, thank you very much, top of the morning, good morning, hello. Come in, we've got food, drink, go upstairs, we've got rooms if you want to have a rest, or play around. No, it's up to you. And we all had to funnel off this thing into this restaurant, and this one family went, well, we don't want to go in the restaurant. We brought sandwiches, we just want to get to the port, we're not interested. And they said, well, you've got to come in the restaurant. And well, we don't want to come in the restaurant. So the guy said, well, I'll have to lock you in the coach. So this family were locked in the coach while we all traipsed off in, and I could just look, but I looked back and just saw this little kid with his face pressed up against the glass. Take me with you, I want to go in the restaurant. They were just stuck in there, absolutely livid, as you would be.
But that's definitely a backhander.
But we went inside, and it was extraordinary, because initially you had to pass through a souvenir shop to get into the restaurant.
Perfect.
And it was catered entirely to English tourists. So there was like pictures of the Queen and Prince Charles on the wall. It was done out in a kind of mock Tudor style. It's absolutely extraordinary. I mean, it was so bizarre, because it was so out of the way. Did that come before the coach sort of scam, or did the coach guy, he knows it? Is it a brother of his? I don't know how those things come about. But is that going on in this country?
Yeah,
with French
I'm sure
and German
it is.
tourists?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Is it?
Yeah, they say, I'm sure people say, look, if you bring 30 people to this restaurant, I'll see you all right. But it would, wouldn't it? If you got your favourites, because you don't have to. The coach driver's pretty much God on those things, because those people don't know where they're going anyway.
Yeah, but at least here, there's other stuff around. You don't really get that in the middle of nowhere situation in this country.
Well, not really. Not if you're going from London to Manchester. You could stop off anywhere. They don't know where they are. There's places with nothing to do or see. It's that those attractions. There's loads of in America, but there's a few here, like Sheep World. And you go out to Gloucester, and there's a town. It's got the biggest cotton reel in the world, and that's it. It's a tourist shop, a big cotton reel, and some bloke at the gate going, it's a quid to see it. There it is, right?
I went to I know it's quite a big. I went to a Shire Horse Centre once.
Yeah.
But when did Shire horses become so popular that they got their own theme parks?
Well, I think there's a museum for everything.
Yeah, possibly so.
I mean, I don't think you could think of something that didn't have a museum somewhere in Britain, because obviously museums start off sometimes by fans.
But this is, did people keep coming around going, I hear you've got a Shire horse, I'd love to see it?
Yeah.
Well, I can't, people come all the time to see my Shire
You should get another one, because I'd quite pay double for
I
those two.
pay good money to see your Shire horse.
Yeah.
Shire horses?
I know.
Have you seen them? They don't do anything, they're not like monkeys.
No, they're
Just
not like
grand,
monkeys,
elegant
no.
creatures, but you look at them in a picture or look at them in real life, pretty much the same thing, they're not doing anything.
If they could train a Shire horse to swing on a rope and masturbate,
Exactly.
I'd pay double.
You pay good money.
I'd pay double for that.
Yeah.
There's a museum in Italy when we went there a couple of years back. Suzanne had like one of those little guide things. Museum there just for spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
open a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I
Was it
mean?
interesting spaghetti? Spaghetti in different shapes?
Don't know, didn't go. I went to see a big hole in the ground.
Sure.
Can't get enough of them. So,
well, but out of 10 then, what would you give it out of 10? All in all, food, location,
right.
relaxation, you know, enjoyment.
Yeah, that's 6.
Okay, brilliant.
6, yeah.
Next week, where are you going next week? You're not on holiday next week?
Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad again.
5 holidays.
Been
Well, another big moment here. We've had Rockbusters. Now we're going to have Carl's film quiz thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a film quiz thing. I've done Planet of the Apes, right? Because one of the things we did in Lanzarote went on this tour with sort of 3 northern blokes, and they didn't really know what they were talking about.
Joking.
What
You're
do you
joking. What? Northerners not know what they're talking about. You're having a laugh.
No, they'd obviously sort of not had much luck here, right? And thought, let's go over to Lanzarote, buy some vans, right? Get people in it. We'll do a tour of the island. And whenever someone asks the question like, what year did the volcano happen? They go, oh, we'll take you to the visitor centres. You can read about it there. So they never actually answered anything, right? So they were useless. But one of the things that they told us was that Planet of the Apes was filmed in Lanzarote.
Right, okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
A bit of it. Well, does it? Does it make sense?
Well, what do you
All right,
mean,
well, maybe
does
it was, maybe it wasn't. Okay, anyway.
No, I mean, if they wanted to show sort of an barren, sort of post-apocalyptic sort of subject, choose where you went on holiday.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, but when we were there, he took us to this sort of beach, and I said, "Is this where they did it?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "What? Right there, yeah." And I watched it, and I couldn't see where I was.
Yeah, you know that if you watch a film from 1968 and you've been to the same place,
the
you're
new
not
one.
going to feature.
The
They're
new
not
one.
going to see you in the back walking along the beach.
It's a new one, new Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the
right?
recent Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I thought I'd sort of.
Now
do
that sounds a little bit more far-fetched. I would have thought that was probably a lot in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Do you have a good holiday, Carl?
Yeah, it was all right. It's all right. Went down to Cornwall.
Now
Tell
you're
you what,
going to the monkey
some odd
sanctuary.
people down there, Steve.
Well, don't look at me. I'm not from Cornwall.
Well, you're from that sort of area.
Well, not really, but never
Genetically, he
mind.
means.
Right.
They're weird.
Well, you must have slotted right in.
Why are they weird? What do they look like?
Just all sort of odd people. A lot of old people, but not just old, sort of messed up old.
What do you mean messed up old? You can't just say that.
There's a woman with a funny neck.
Okay, in what way was it funny?
Why did she have a funny neck? If you were writing an essay, you wouldn't say there was this woman with a funny neck. How would you describe it?
She sort of had her head like pointed down all the time. Like that.
Don't do it. It's his radio.
No, but just for you, I did like that.
Yeah.
Walking about.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So brilliant.
I don't know. I was saying to Suzanne, what happened? You know, what do you think?
Because Suzanne knows everything. That's the good thing about her being with you. You just ask her what happened to her, and Suzanne goes, "Carl, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been here before."
Suzanne, your girlfriend, or mummy as you call her.
Oh, sparks are flying.
Yeah. I got a little bit of chocolate. Can you just lick a tissue and wipe it off?
Oh.
No, she said it might have been like because back in the olden days they carried stuff on the.
The olden days.
What do you mean the olden days?
This woman was probably what, 50?
No, she looked about 70.
Yeah.
But like I do on Cheeky Freak of the Week, right? I always turn it round and we get like something good out
Something
of it.
positive, yeah.
I said to Suzanne, I bet she finds a lot of money.
Yeah.
Always staring at the ground, yeah.
Oh
There's always-
dear.
there's always good.
So you
Maybe
back?
she just had new shoes and she was admiring them.
Yeah.
Did you think of that? before you point the finger and judge.
Or a necklace was too heavy.
Exactly.
So you're back refreshed. So what have we got for this week? Have we sort of, because we didn't meet last night, which we usually meet
No,
sort of
I called you and said it'd be good if we could. You know, I wasn't getting back into London.
Well, I was up
until
for it. I was up for it.
7:30, but
yeah,
but we all need to be there. It's no good just me and you being there.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right that I wasn't there yet because I wasn't willing to just be governed by your particular schedule. You want to jet back in from another of your holidays
It wasn't a
at
holiday.
8 o'clock.
It wasn't a holiday, though.
Well, so what? You
What do
were
you
out
mean?
of town.
What do you mean it wasn't a holiday? What was it?
It was a treat, wasn't it, for my mum and dad? So it wasn't a holiday.
What? So you didn't enjoy the 5 days off? You'd rather have been here moaning 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day.
You see, we said last week that you're always whinging. Here you are whinging now.
I'm not
And you're
moaning.
saying it's not even a holiday. You're saying it's not even a holiday. What was it then?
Would like a nurse who takes sick children to Florida, would they say having a great holiday?
Sorry, what particular ailment did your parents have for the week that they had to fly in Carl Pilkington, MD?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, all right, it was a holiday.
Well then, good. Now some honesty, now some truth.
So you came back from your holiday, you wanted to start back to work straight away, Steve couldn't be bothered to meet. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So we've got nothing prepared for this.
Well, you can rely on Rockbusters. Right, that's
We've
coming
got
up.
nothing.
Monkey News.
Even though you were away, you were still working.
Still doing stuff.
Did you go to the Monkey Sanctuary?